Hey guys, how's everybody doing? It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley. Happy Wednesday. I missed y'all. I hope you guys missed me, but it feels good to be back. First, before we start, I just want to say thank y'all for all the love that you guys showed me on my birthday. I was just so touched, y'all. I felt all the love. I have been enjoying myself, as you guys can see. I have been just outside, all right? You guys know that summer is my season, all right? So we are going to be outside all summer long. So yes, we have been enjoying, I've been enjoying myself since last week, okay? But I'm back. We are here for a double recap. Thank you all for being so patient. I hope you guys are doing well. Yes, I've been out in the streets, honey. I've been out zipping it and doing it. Thanks, y'all. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, honey. Yes, you said that. You see me dipping it and doing it, of course. So, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but yeah, I want to talk about these last two episodes of Atlanta, episodes 9 and 10. And I really feel like, despite the nonsense with Brit and Kenya and that whole debacle, overall, Atlanta is having a good season. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm actually enjoying it. I think that Angela, when Andy said that she's a slow burn, he was correct, because I was on the fence about Angela in the beginning, but now I'm like, oh, okay, Angela is a housewife. I think that Angela is giving us old school housewives back when Nene and Sheree were on. But I'm loving Angela's energy and the way she single-handedly put that wedge in between Porsha and Shamea's friendship. She needs to teach a master class, because that was expert level at how she did that. She came and conquered and divided the both of them at the end of episode 10. We'll talk about that later on. But yeah, I'm enjoying the season. Yes, Angela is the star. I agree. Hey, Rita, thank you for the super chat. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. Thank you so much. Lots of love and best wishes. I adore you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat, Rita. You're so sweet. Thank you. Oh, and Rita, we met at Kempire's live show a few months ago, and you were so sweet. Thank you. Angela is bone carrying. Yes, she is. She's the MVP so far. I agree. Yes, effortless. Please pass right through Brit's nasal and overbite scenes. Oh yeah, we're not going to be talking about Brit. Be very clear about that. I will be passing right through her scenes. They're not interesting. I don't care. Okay. Okay, you picked up on that. You sound a little under the weather. Okay, so you know what's funny? I caught a slight cold over the weekend. I guess I've been too much outside. So yes, you can hear I'm sounding like Brit eating myself. So it was two options. Either I wait until I feel 100% and give you guys a recap, or I just give it to you now. So yes, but I'm recovering from a cold. All right. Okay. Child, not you catching Porsha's cold. Oh, not you shading me. Not you throwing shade. Oh, you are so funny. Girl, you sound better than Brit. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Y'all are so sweet. You still sound good. Oh, y'all are so sweet. No one sounds like Brit but Brit. Ciao. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Have you noticed on the after show, Porsha and Brit have barely getting any screen time? This shows they have the weakest storylines. Yes, the after show is really focused on Drew, Angela, and Cynthia, and then Shamea and Kelli. And I noticed that Brit and Porsha get very little screen time. All right, y'all. So let's jump into episode 9. Episode 9, we're going to brush past it. We're not going to go over every single scene. I hope that's okay with you. But yes, honey, if I sound a little congested, it's because I've been outside since my birthday last week. Okay, I was out, honey. I've been out with the people having a good old time. So I must have caught a cold from somebody. Okay, one of y'all throwing shade at me, talking about, oh, I caught Porsha's cold. Oh my gosh. Okay, so a few of y'all are under the weather too. Well, take that NyQuil and that DayQuil have been my best friend. So I'm gonna wish that we all have a speedy recovery, okay? All right. Oh yes. Happy belated birthday to you too. Happy birthday to all of my May babies in the chat, okay? Yes. Oh, I miss y'all too. I miss y'all too. Allergies are kicking your behind. Listen. All right. Let's get into episode 9. Yes, honey. Not you clocking me. You said a cold of zipping it and zooing it. Yeah. Hey, Robert. Thank you for the super chat. Happy birthday again. Thank you. I always love a super chat. Porsha needs to be dragged worse than she dragged Kenya. She's insufferable. Ralph is a certified clown. I agree. And Shamea, I have to whack Shamea gently because her meeting up with Ralph was unacceptable, but we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. I got you. All right. So, episode 9, we start things off with Cynthia playing Inspector Gadget. She says that she went to bed early at the end of the Nashville trip, so she missed all the mess by the pool. So we have Cynthia meeting up with Shamea, Kelli, and she's trying to get the scoop on what happened. So Shamea says that, they were out at the pool till like 5 a.m. They're having fun. They were all drunk. And now Shamea says that Brit threw shade saying that Charles cheated and had an outside baby. So now we see that Shamea says that she sent Angela a text message after the trip, and Angela sent her a text back pretty much saying, Shamea, I'm good. I don't want to, talk to you. Like, our morals and our values aren't aligned. Be blessed. Have a nice day. So Shamea's a bit confused by that. So now you have, and I mean, I'm going to say, when it comes to Shamea and Angela, I feel like Angela has a right to feel a way about Shamea laughing at what Porsha said about effing her husband. Because we all know that if the shoe were on the other foot, Shamea would be in tears if somebody said that about her husband. Because we know, I remember it was when Marlo was I think a friend of, but remember that season they went to New Orleans and Marlo made a joke saying that she could have Shamea's husband, and Shamea was like screaming. I feel like Shamea, if the shoe were on the other foot, you would feel away. So I'm kind of surprised at Shamea acting like she's confused as to why Angela's upset with her. I just feel like as a woman, why would you encourage or laugh at your friend saying that she would F somebody else's husband? That should be a no-no. That's just my opinion. All right. So now we see Cynthia talking to Angela. She's trying to get her side of things. Angela says that she heard them talking about her. She was being called Big Bird. And then she heard Porsha say that I could F her husband. So now we have Cynthia talking to Porsha. So Cynthia addresses Porsha, and you have Porsha already not telling the truth. And Porsha says something like, oh, I didn't say that, blame it on the alcohol. And then she does cop to it. So now Porsha goes on to say, just to clear the record, I would never F anybody's husband. I don't know anything about that woman's husband. And I have no intentions of saying anything that comes up about Charles. So, Porsha, the fact that you can't just say, I was wrong, I should not have said that, drunk or not, that was uncalled for, says a lot. And for all of the Porsha stans who love to be in my comments, can we just admit that your fave is doing way too much? Your fave is showing out for no good reason. because she has no storyline. And I'm so tired of Porsha stans attacking me on social media for my opinion. This is not about not liking Porsha. It's about reporting on what I'm seeing. I used to like Porsha in the earlier seasons, but right now, her attitude in this season, it's stank. She's being a mean girl for no apparent reason. So forgive me for giving my opinion on that, but that should not have been said. There was no reason to say that you would have somebody else's husband. It was wrong. And then to try to play coy about it and say, well, blame it on the Henny. No, ma'am. Take ownership and say, you know what? I effed up. I'm sorry. Why is that so difficult? Yes, it's very disappointing. Her behavior is very disappointing. It's annoying how her stans want to act like we're all just coming down on her for no reason. It's not about that. It's about she's showing out. And I feel like I'm a very fair person. When Porsha, I give her 10s when I need to give them. But right now, these last few episodes, her behavior has been abysmal, and it has to be said. She said it because she means it. Yeah, I feel that way too. And they always say, drunk thoughts speak a sober mind, right? Is that the quote? But I just feel like there was no reason to even make a joke like that. Yes, drunk mouth equals sober thoughts. Yes. Porsha does not like being called out. Hey, Brooke, just wanted to pop in and let you know my surgery was yesterday. Everything went well. I'm in the hospital recovering. Praise God. I'll catch the playback later. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad to hear that your surgery went well. I'm wishing you a very speedy recovery. Thank you for the update too. Oh, she has a lot of stans on Twitter who, we get into it like every episode because they swear that I just don't like her. And that's not the case. I just don't like Porsha's attitude. These recent years, she's been insufferable. From her, the way she got with Simon, no accountability on that. Then when she tried to fight Dennis's mother on national TV on that spinoff, I have not been here for Porsha and her shenanigans for quite some time. And it's sad that her stans want to turn a blind eye to what she's doing. It's ridiculous. So now we get to Cynthia telling Shamea and Kelli that she's hosting her annual Bailey Q. She usually has it on the 4th of July, but since Juneteenth is now a legal holiday, she wants to have it on Juneteenth. So now we get to Kelli's puppy's birthday party. I don't care about that. God bless. The puppy is adorable, but I didn't think this scene was interesting, so let's just move right on along. And then it's her and Brit Edie. No, thank you. So now we cut to Porsha at her mom's house. Now, a quick question for everybody in the chat. If I'm not mistaken, Miss Diane's house looks like the house that Porsha bought before she got with Simon. Is that Porsha's old house? And she just gave it to her mom? Let me know in the chat. So anyhow, she's at her mom's house. We see that Porsha bought her daughter Pilar a puppy. And Porsha says that she wanted to get her daughter a puppy because her daughter can feel that she's very low vibrational and she wants to compensate for her poor, her sadness, I guess, about this divorce and all this mess going on in her life. She wants to compensate by giving her daughter a puppy since she can't give her a sibling. Okay, so yes, okay, it was Porsha's old house. Okay, thank you. So now we have Porsha's sister there, Lauren, and we have Lauren asking Porsha about the divorce, any updates on that. And Porsha says that the judge gave them a court date and the divorce should be wrapped up soon. Now, we know that present day, Simon has been detained by ICE. So I don't know when this divorce is going to be ending. I don't know when it's going to be finalized. So we'll see about that. So now they start talking about the trip. Porsha says that she had a good time. Lauren says, well, how did it go bad then? And Porsha says that she couldn't enjoy the trip because she got a phone call informing her that Drew and Dennis had filmed a scene together. So now she says that she's about to blow her cap. She felt betrayed. And she says that for this one time, she was hoping that Dennis would choose her and Pilar over something else. So I want to stop right here. Why are we still dragging out this issue of Drew and Dennis working together? Porsha, a few episodes ago, you said that you were over it. Why do we keep beating the bush? Why do we keep going around and around the mulberry bush talking about how offended we are about Drew and Dennis? This is tired. It's not that deep. They're working together on some music. It is what it is. I'm just tired of this. And the way Porsha is going on about this, in my opinion, Porsha wanted to sabotage her own birthday trip because she wanted some attention, she wanted a moment, and she needs a storyline because there was no good reason for her to show out like that on her birthday. I mean, it was ridiculous. She was so passive aggressive, rolling her eyes. She ruined the entire dinner. I don't know. Yes, let the mouse go. I agree. It's just like, it's enough already. But also Porsha knew they were working together before filming started. Exactly. And you know what I don't like? I hated when I think her mom at one point says, "Oh, Dennis, I can't defend you anymore." And I said, "Miss Diane, do you ever see when your daughter is wrong? Why is it everybody else's fault but your daughter's? You already spoke poorly about Shamea episodes ago, saying that she's like a dog who carries the bone. Watch out for her. Now we're saying, oh, Dennis, I can't defend you anymore. What has he done that's so bad? Have you addressed how your daughter tried to fight her baby's father's mother on national TV? Like, it's so annoying. Porsha has the worst behavior, but when you call her out on it, she gets upset. It's very annoying. Yes, yes, behind every toxic person is a parent enabling it. Yes. Child. So now Porsha's going on and on about that. She says that she blew her own dinner up. Then she says that she went back to her room, talked to Cynthia. Cynthia told her to put her bikini on, go have some fun. So the way Porsha lied about what happened at that pool, I said, oh, Porsha. I said, Porsha, for you to lie to your mom and sister like this, like what? For her to say that she was just having a good time and she was imitating Netta and Charles from Tik Tok. And so Angela came down and she said, oh yeah, that heifer came down to confront me. That's not what happened. Tell your mom the truth. You said I could F that lady's husband. Tell your mom the truth about what you said. And you have Lauren and Miss Diane sitting there laughing at it. And I'm like, your daughter is lying to you. That's not what happened. Baby, I already know I'm going to have to battle the Porsha stands in these comments, but I don't care. Yes, she did not tell her mom the entire story at all. Lauren was laughing because she knew her sister was on some BS. Yes, but you know what? Like y'all said in the chat, Lauren is on payroll, so she knows where her bread and butter. She knows where her bread's buttered at. So she's not trying to create any waves because she needs that check that Porsha provides. Because we saw how Porsha told her family to shut their mouths after that whole fight happened on her spinoff show. When her cousin tried to address, hey, what just happened last night? You tried to fight your baby's father's mother. And she was like, shut up. We're not talking about it. And they all shut up. So it's clear that they yes her to death because they want to be on her good side and they want that money to keep flowing in. But I'll be damned. Absolutely not. It couldn't be me. It could not be me. I think that's a sad way to live when you can never be told anything. So now, I was so irritated by that entire scene. I mean, she just outright lied. And then to keep calling Angela Big Bird, I'm like, okay, Porsha, it's just very immature. So now, anyhow, we're skipping past the scene with Shamea meeting up with the surrogate. I don't have anything more to say about that. I've said how I felt about it in previous recaps. You can go watch how I feel, in the older recaps, but I'm gonna just leave that alone, okay? So we're gonna skip past that. So now we have Angela and Charles working out together. And now Angela says that Charles is a drill sergeant in the gym. But one thing about it, though, that's the best person to have in the gym with you because they will get that body tight. All right. So Angela tells Charles what happened on the Nashville trip. And she says that Porsha was upset that she invited Drew. And Charles does get on her about that. He says, how are you going to invite somebody else to somebody else's trip? So Angela says that I wanted them to get along. I had good intentions. And now Charles is like, I would not do anything like that. Like, sorry. So Angela makes a joke saying that her husband loves playing devil's advocate. Now, I've gotten some pushback on my opinion about Charles and Angela and their marriage, but my opinion still stands. I don't like the way Charles speaks to her. Call me sensitive, call me whatever you want, but I just feel like husbands, men that you're dealing with in a romantic way, boyfriend, whatever, I feel like men should speak to you sweetly. I saw a healthy marriage. The way my dad spoke to my mom, it was with the utmost respect. He spoke to her very lovingly. He was very affectionate. So watching Charles, the way he speaks to her, he always sounds annoyed. I just can't get with that. Like, I really can't. And it's very jarring to watch. And Angela always seems like she's making excuses for her husband. Like, it just feels like with Angela, she knows that people have a side eye for their marriage, like their dynamic. And it feels like she's always trying to get ahead of what we might say. I don't know. I don't want to overanalyze their marriage, but I just don't like the way he speaks to her. He never, it's not for me. I'm going to say that. Yes, he's very harsh. Yes, talk to me nice or don't talk to me twice. Exactly. I think she likes that about Charles. He's not coming off mean, just blunt. You can be blunt. People use blunt as a way to be rude. People use, well, I'm just blunt as a cover up to be nasty and rude. You don't have to be so abrasive. The way he speaks to her, there's no kindness in it, in my opinion. Again, I don't claim to be an expert, but the tone, I just feel like that's a problem when a man is always so annoyed. He seems so annoyed just because you're breathing. I don't like it. And nobody can make me think that how he speaks to her is normal. And I will gladly die on that hill that I believe that your husband, boyfriend should speak to you with love, care, and respect. Just my 2 cents. Yes, we have not seen him be soft with her at all. He was mean and a hater when he was playing ball. That's what my dad and my brother used to tell me. Yes, there's a way to be blunt and emotionally intelligent. I agree. Blunt is keeping it 100% real. To me, all these all sound like I'm going to say my piece and not care about anybody else's feelings. Yes, that I agree with that. Yes. It's just another way to be rude. You can tell somebody the truth and do it in love. Like if you say this, like let's say that somebody's wearing an outfit that's not the most flattering, and you could be like, "Hey, babe," or "Hey, girl," whoever you're talking to, like, "Hey, I think that this will look better on you versus that." Versus, "Oh, that looks horrible on you. You look a mess." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the message is the same, but it's conveyed in 2 different ways. Like my dad used to always say, you can say what you want, but it's how you say it. It's your tone. Delivery is everything. I don't like the way he delivers things to Angela. Again, my opinion. Hey, YY, thank you for the super chat. Brooke, are you going to go to BravoCon? Love your recaps. Oh, yes, I saw that the tickets just got announced for next month. Yes, Lord willing, I will be there. Hey, Danny Webb, 1971. Thank you for the super chat. Happy belated birthday, Queen. Why does it seem like Kelly's oldest daughter is parenting herself? Oh, you think? Well, we'll talk about that family scene later on. But I don't get those vibes. Hey, the perfume preppy. Thank you for the super chat. Charles is too facially impaired. Well, my God, today. Now, before y'all beat me up in the comments, I didn't say it. I'm just reading the super chat. Okay, I'm just reading the super chat. To be as nonchalant and unsupportive about Angela as he is, child. Well, I didn't say it. You did, but he needs to be a lot sweeter, in my opinion. All right. Okay. So anyhow, Angela tells him about what Porsha said, saying that, allegedly he's messing with some girl in New York, and then how he's so easy to have sex with, and how she could have sex with Charles. Now, Charles, I know I just got on you a few minutes ago, but I was happy to hear you say that Porsha could not have sex with you. I said, well, that's good to know. So now Angela says that she did confront Porsha, and Porsha left real quick. So now we get right back to Porsha at her mom's house, right? And this scene was interesting for a lot of reasons, because Porsha is expecting her au pair to come. She's having a little welcome party for her au pair. So the au pair is from South Africa. She's going to be watching Pilar when she's away, or just she's going to be there just to help out, So she has gifts for the au pair. She has balloons. She did it was a nice presentation. So Dennis comes over because she wants Dennis to also meet the au pair, and just the energy with Porsha and Dennis in this scene, it was just weird, because you can tell, again, from where I'm sitting, nobody can convince me that Porsha does not have feelings for Dennis. I feel like she has, I still feel like there is some lingering love still there between her and Dennis. Nobody can tell me differently. Just saying. But the way she was acting with Dennis in this scene, it felt like, girl, you still want this man bad. So anyhow, we meet the au pair. Her name is Phoebe. She's from South Africa. And now we see Porsha and Dennis have a chat by themselves. So Porsha says that she's chosen to move on from this whole Drew and Dennis thing because the end goal is their daughter. Now, moving on means that we're not talking about it, right? So how come we're still talking about Drew in this episode and in the next episode? You have not moved on, Porsha. You are still pressed and bothered about Dennis and Drew. It's mind-boggling to me how, for somebody who's so unbothered, is still very much bothered. So Porsha says that we haven't chatted about our friendship. And Dennis says, are we still talking about Drew? And Porsha says, well, I got news that you two filmed together. And Dennis says, well, I wasn't filming. I came to a session. The cameras happened to be there. Once again, why does anybody care that much that Drew and Dennis filmed a scene together? They are making music together, right? And this is part of Drew's storyline, right? So I feel like Drew does have the right to film with Dennis if she wants to. So now, and also, I don't have any sympathy or empathy for a woman who said that she would F another woman's husband. So the same way that you feel like Drew hasn't given you respect, you don't respect anybody else. So miss me with all this, oh, well, I feel a way about that. Well, no, because you say and do what you want to do, but when it's done to you, now it's not so funny. Got it. So now Drew says that not Drew. Porsha says that Drew and Dennis need to both take ownership. I said, Porsha, you don't take any ownership for anything that you do. So for you to demand that they take ownership for what? They filmed a scene together. Deal with it. So now Porsha says apparently Dennis said that Drew tried to sleep with him. And Dennis says, oh, please, that's not what I said. So we see Porsha showing Dennis her phone. And she's like, no, see right there, you said something about she tried to F you. Now, may I just say, I don't understand why Drew gets a lot of the hate that she gets. I've always been pretty neutral on Drew. I think that Drew is actually a pretty good housewife. And if we're being honest, Drew's storyline is carrying Porsha. She is Porsha's storyline. So to see the way she's being treated is a bit jarring because Drew has not done anything to warrant this level of hate. And now for Porsha to try to lie on Drew and say that Drew was trying to F Dennis, personally, I don't believe a word of it because I don't think that Dennis is Drew's physical type. I just don't. And for you to spin this like Drew is after your baby's father is really messed up. Like, I don't like the hate that Drew gets. I think that is uncalled for. And people act like she's this devious liar. Has Drew lied before? She has. But we've seen people lie about worse things. Porsha, you lied on your best friend Shamea with Phaedra, saying, oh, okay, let's talk about that. That whole candy situation, the whole dungeon situation. Let's talk about that. So I wouldn't speak too much about somebody being a liar. We saw you try to fight Dennis's mom on national TV, but Drew's the worst person. I don't know where this narrative has come from that Drew is just so horrible, but I don't see it. I don't see. Yes, the Drew hate seems very unwarranted. It's weird. They always try to find an issue with Drew. It's tiring. I'm not saying that Drew has to be your favorite, but let's not act like Drew has done horrible things. If she's lied about things, it's been about really trivial things, maybe about her and Ralph, but it's not been lies that have affected somebody else. Okay? Porsha has lied on people that could have greatly affected them and mess them up. So let's not talk about, Drew is this huge, big liar. And I don't think that it's right that she's lying on Drew saying that Drew tried to F Dennis. I don't believe it. Yes, Drew has lied, but her lies aren't bad like Porsha or Mia. Exactly. That's how I feel about it. I just feel like Drew is always in actor mode. She's never seemed authentic. Listen, I can see that point of view as well, but I will still take that over certain people on this cast who are outright liars. I feel like Drew gets bullied. I agree. Exactly. All these women lie, but Drew hasn't lied about anything malicious. Yep, exactly. Drew's lies are innocent. Porsha's lies will get you tarnished. Yes. Okay. Oh, come through. Drew don't even want Dennis. Drew's type is better looking man or woman. Exactly. Drew is an easy target. I agree. Okay, so we're on the same page about Drew. But yeah, I didn't like how she lied on Drew saying that Drew was trying to F Dennis. I don't believe a word of it. So now, even Dennis says that didn't happen. You interpreted that whole text wrong. That's not what was said. Now, Porsha throwing that shade about, Dennis says he's not the one hitting it. We do find out that Drew is no longer signed to Dennis's label. And I felt really bad to hear that because I'm sure that it has to do with Porsha's nonsense. When Porsha threw that shade saying, oh, well, maybe you can write a breakup song about it, I was like, that's really messed up. I just don't understand why Porsha hates this woman so bad. You would think that Drew stole money from Porsha the way she's acting. It's ridiculous. So now I do want to touch on this briefly. I know we're skipping all of Brit's scenes, but this scene with Brit and her family, I don't have anything I don't have anything else to say, but y'all, I was so confused by that scene. That was bizarre. I mean, that was so bizarre to watch. You have Brit's sister crying. I mean, it's a lot going on. But yeah, Brit's scenes, it's clear that Brit does not have anybody else to film with besides Kelli, because if she's not with Kelli, she's filming with her mom, her sister, or her husband. But yeah, this family scene with Brit was jarring. I could not tell what was happening. It was too much going on at the same time. Yes, no, for real. It's no shade. Brit and her family are a masterclass in dysfunction. I agree. I agree. Child. The sister on the phone sounded so over it. Yeah, because she was screaming at her. It was alarming. I said, "What's going on?" Brit, who is that? I don't know her, child. Okay, let's move on. But I just thought I would comment on that scene. I thought it was very jarring. So now we get to the day of Cynthia's Bailey Q. And Cynthia, girl, you hired a prophet to come to the Bailey Q? Girl, what? Why do we have a prophet at the Bailey Q? Like, let me know. But I will say Cynthia did a great job with the Bailey Q because beautifully decorated. That food looked amazing. That was a spread. Cynthia, you get a 10 out of 10 because, again, chef's kiss. So now we see Brit arrives first. Other friends are arriving. And now we see the prophet arrive. Her name is Dr. Tasha. Can we talk about how that prophet sat down with that glass of champagne? I said, girl, what? I said, okay. I said, all right. But we see the prophet reading Brit. She's giving Brit a reading. She says that Brit's been choosing other people for so long and how Brit has a new business venture. So Brit announces that she's putting the insurance business on pause because she's starting a shapewear line. Brit, I thought that you were a devoted insurance agent. So now we're doing shapewear. But the girls have been saying that your insurance business was defunct before you got on the show. The whole insurance thing was a lie anyway, allegedly. So I don't know what to believe. But the way you showed your entire behind so far, I don't know if this shapewear line is going to do anything. But baby, that prophet gave more hustler than a woman of faith. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, you would love to see me do food tastings around town. Oh, I would love. Oh, well, you know what? This summer, keep an eye out for it. Keep an eye out for some new content this summer. She's scamming the girls anyway, child. You said shapewear groundbreaking. Shapewear is RHOA's version of RHOP's candles. I never believe any of these psychics or prophets. They always give general info or ish that can be Googled. Yeah, I don't believe it either. Remember how Jennifer Aiden on Jersey, she had that psychic come, or the tea reader. She reads tea leaves, and then she added herself that she had Googled all of them. So yeah, I don't believe them. A lot of them are frauds. Well, it's, listen, I don't do readings or any of that. Just a personal thing. So that's just me. But yeah, I don't really believe that these psychics, especially on these shows, I mean, come on, these women are all public figures. All you got to do is go on Google, type their name in, and you find out what they're doing. So again, I don't believe it. So now we have Angela arrive. We have Kelli arrive. Baby, the tension, you could cut it with a knife. That's how thick it was when Angela walked in and she sat down on that couch. She paid Kelli and Brit dust. I was here for it. So now we do see the prophet telling Kelli that Kelli has new beginnings. She says, you went through a lot in your marriage. She brings up a car. She says, what did he do to your car? He was being vindictive. So Kelli says that her ex-husband bought her a G-Wagon for their 10th year anniversary, and then he sold it. And then Kelli is blown away because she says the only person who knew that was Brit. Again, I'm sure if you Googled what happened with Kelli's car on Google, you'll find it out. I don't believe that this prophet knew anything about it. I think that she went on Google like everybody else did. So, oh yes, we do share the same birthday. Yes, May 6th. Yes, happy belated birthday twin. Oh, I love it. I have so many May birthdays in the chat. I love it. Yes, Google is public and free. So everybody's here. Shamea's there. Everybody's there, right? Porsha's there. We see the prophet telling Angela that there's something going on, I guess, with her spouse, and that they need a vacation. They've gotten too comfortable. And how as women, they get too consumed with their work and they lose their sexy, right? So Angela makes a joke saying that her husband's love language is cleaning the house and romance does not live forever, but they're good. Now, like I said earlier on, I feel like Angela is always making excuses for Charles, because to say that romance does not live forever, okay, so this might be controversial, but I feel like your words are powerful and you'll never catch me saying certain things. I believe that romance can live forever, maybe not at the same, height that it was when you guys like first met, but I believe that if you communicate well, if you really take pride, like in trying to work things out and be around each other and be connected, that romance can still live. Like, I feel like date nights don't have to go away because you're married. You know what I'm saying? Again, I saw a healthy marriage growing up, so maybe I'm biased, but I feel like Angela always has excuses for why things might not be right in their marriage. I don't know. Yes, I feel the same way. Charles seems mean and grumpy. I agree. I want Angela to be loved properly. Same here. Again, listen, I understand the married folks are saying that it is hard work. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not hard. Romance is only in the books. Believe me, respect is everything. But okay, right? A quick question. But don't you think that, like with date nights, trying to keep that spark alive, you can still keep that spark going? No, yes. Like, I don't know. I just think that people are so quick to accept negativity. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'll never accept, like, I don't want to say the status quo. I'm not trying to say that, I don't know. Let me get off of that. But I guess what I'm saying is, I feel like it doesn't have to, just because other people say that their marriage is so hard or tiring or whatever, yours does not have to be that way. I've always felt like what other people say does not have to apply to me, right? I feel like mutual respect and effort in date nights and trying to keep yourself up, like you can still keep a little bit of romance alive, in my opinion. Just saying. Oh, all right. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so you said it's complicated. My parents are always romantic. They volley it back and forth depending on the time in life. Yes, my parents are very romantic as well. Yes, okay, so we see each other. I know what you're saying. Yes, okay, so you get me. When you settle, you get less than what you settled for. Yes. I agree. Okay, so we agree. Always reach for the stars, don't accept the bare minimum. Yes. Again, don't ask the chat. Well, no, I do want to ask the chat because a lot of you guys, I have a lot of married subscribers. And wait, hold on. a lot of y'all be whacking me like, Brooke, you don't understand. You're single. And listen, I get that. I understand. But what I'm saying is, I feel like you could still have a happy marriage, a romantic marriage, even if it's been years. Like, that's all I'm saying. That's it. But the married people in the chat and in the comments, feel free to give me your 2 cents. I would love to hear from you, but just don't whack me too hard, okay? All I'm saying is it feels like Angela is always overcompensating for Charles and his attitude. I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm married and my spouse and I work different schedules, so it's hard to have date nights, but I miss romance. Thank you for sharing. I really do appreciate your take. Thank you. I think a lot of people rush into relationships and are more attached to an idea of being in a relationship than the person they are with, which is why they don't leave when there's blatant disrespect. Yes, I do agree with that as well. Agreed, Brooke, you aren't wrong. Okay, well, listen, I'm here for all opinions, but the married folks, let me know. Am I, delusional? And I'll gladly be delusional, okay? Marriage is what you make it. Yes, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like, life is what you make it in general. Like, I've never been someone to accept certain, like, when people say like life is hard, or what, like when people say like negative things, I will never agree to that. For me, I feel like I'm going to always have a great life. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I've just never been somebody who's going to agree with the negative just because it's the norm. I'm just not going to agree with that for me. So that's why I take issue when I hear people say, oh, marriages, it's this and it's that. And it's like, but there are people who are happily married, I don't know. Yes, I will never speak bad affirmations. Never, never. You will never catch me. Like when folks say, oh, well, like I have relatives or cousins, even, people that I know, and they'll say like such horrible things about their age. We're in our 30s and they're talking like, they're on death's door. And I'm like, well, no, I'm still young. I look good. I'm going to keep looking good. I'm going to keep being sexy. Like, I'm not, you will never get me to say anything negative about my life or me, nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So I feel like if you believe that that you can't have romance or this or that, that's what you're going to get. But for me, I believe that I can have it all. I have a great life, great this, great that. So that's just me. So I have a hard time when I hear people say such negative things and they accept it for a fact, and they act like everybody has to agree with that. I don't agree with that. And if you're around negative people, get away from that. I will never agree to anything negative about my life, my looks, nothing. In your world, I feel like you should feel like you're the baddest thing out there. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Don't let anybody tell you that, your life is going to look like this. No, life is what you make it. If you expect bad, if you expect nothing, you're going to get nothing. If you expect the world, you're going to see it all open up for you. Just saying. All right, never mind. But I didn't mean to get off on a tangent about that. But yes, just my thoughts. When she said that, I just said, okay, Angela, I guess. Okay, so we're a lot of us are on the same page. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Brooke, you better speak your speech. No, I'm very passionate about that. A lot of you guys have jokes saying I could be a life coach. Listen, maybe I'll do that. Who knows? But I'm just saying, in all seriousness, though, I've always had a really hard time being around a lot of people because a lot of people are very just naturally negative. A lot of people think poorly about themselves. So many people think that they're unattractive or they're this or they're that. And you just have to believe that you are here for a great life, a great time. You cannot put yourself down. You will never hear me speak badly about myself. In my world, in my head, I'm the baddest thing out there. Nobody can tell me different. And my life reflects that. I'm just saying. So please speak positive about yourself. Do not accept crumbs. Do not accept the bare minimum. You're worth more than that. Okay. The fact that we're alive is a miracle in itself. So the fact, like, you're a walking miracle. When you think about that, how could you down yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, just off of that alone, how could you think poorly about yourself? So again, y'all, I don't mean to get off on that, but listen, I just had to say that. I had to get that off of my chest. Yes. Okay. So we're here. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Say it again. Yes. I'm the baddest bitch walking. Exactly. No, for real. I'm serious. I'm serious, y'all. I'm serious. But please, all I got to say is, positive life. It all starts here. If you have to see it in here first before you see it out here. It all starts inside. All right. So just remember that. But yeah, we'll talk. We'll do a video on that alone. Okay. So yes. Exactly. Yes, exactly. That's right. That's right. I'm a bad bitch too. That's right. You better say it. You better say it like you know it. Okay. Exactly. Yes. Claim it. Claim it. Yes. No, I know I'm not delusional, but I do have some people who act like I am delusional sometimes when I say certain things. They say, oh, you think that life is like a fairy tale. I've had some married women in my comments saying, you're a very idolized version. And I'm like, well, you have to understand, I grew up in a very healthy situation. I saw two parents who did love each other. They had date nights and all this stuff. So yes, I know that might not be the norm, but I'm coming from my viewpoint. So I've grown up my whole entire life with people thinking that, oh my gosh, this girl, little black girl with a big dream. So yes, but I'm used to people like saying, like, wow, like, who are you to think so highly of yourself or your whatever? But I'm just saying I've been hit with some pushback from married subscribers in my comments saying that I have an idealized version of what I think marriage is. So I'm just bracing myself for the pushback in the comments to what I said about Angela and Charles. So, yes, exactly. When I'm 90, I'll still be a bad bitch, honey, no matter what. Exactly. All right. Okay. Listen, honey. I will, baby, please. I'll be the baddest 90-year-old on the block. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my, I'm sure my mom, if you're in the chat, everybody's complimenting you. Thank you. Yeah, my mom is beautiful, but my mom is a very beautiful woman. She was a model. She always had a very positive attitude. She still has a positive attitude. Look how good she looks. She looks like the same. There's been like no change. She's still tiny. She looks a beautiful woman. So it's like we get mistaken for sisters all the time when we're out. So I'm just saying, do not succumb to the idea that because you get older, you have to look bad, let it all go. No, you can be beautiful at any age. So just, y'all, we'll do a whole video on this. We can do it tomorrow. Cause I mean, I owe you guys a lot of videos. I've been gone for like a week and a half. So we can do another video just on this alone. I would love to talk more about this, but yes. But again, I didn't mean to get sidetracked about this. Okay. We'll talk about this another day. But yes, we do need to be around people who uplift us and speak positivity over us. Yes, it's true. We are amazing. No, it's very true. Oh, well, thank you very much. I thank you very much. Thank you. You guys are very sweet. Thank you. So where were we before we got, carried away here? Okay, wait, let me read one more comment. No, it's true. That's why it's so important for parents to continuously speak life into their children from a young age so they can grow up confident. The world is already hard on Black children. No, it's true. I'm a living testament. I'm a walking testament to how this is what it looks like when you come from a family that did pour into you. My parents told me every day that I was beautiful. They were proud of me. They hugged and kissed me every day, told me they loved me. There was nothing I couldn't do. They were very, they let me know I was already filled at home, and a lot of people, unfortunately, are not used to seeing confident Black children. So there was a lot of resistance when I left home, but it never, my foundation was so strong that even when I met friends or teachers who tried to knock me down, I knew that there was something special in me, because people don't try to knock down somebody that they feel is not a threat. So I knew at a young age that there was something special about me. And I know that everybody's special, but I realized there was something about me that had people so rattled, because how is an adult jealous of a child? So you're absolutely correct. But I will say, if you are a parent, right, to to young Black kids, the parents out there, just let them know that a lot of people are going to be resistant to their confidence, because confidence is already a rebellious act, because majority of people are very insecure. So when you meet somebody who's confident, that's already a shock, right? But to be Black and confident, to be Black and feel and know that you're beautiful and that you're talented, that's very jarring to people. So you will be met with resistance. Let your kids know that they will be met with resistance because they are Black and confident. Just so you know, because things will be even harder for them, because they want to knock you down a peg. All right. So, yes. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you, guys. Listen, y'all, we have a lot to talk about, don't we? Yes, it's true. To be Black and confident. Yeah, it's jarring for a lot of people. It is jarring for a lot of people. It's a lot. People get so jealous, and I remember you saying that jealousy is not a normal emotion. As I get older, I agree. It's not a normal emotion. It's not. It's not. It's not. I don't care what anybody says. You can fight me on it. We can go to blows about it. I don't care. I will stand on my square. Jealousy is not a normal emotion. I'm tired of folks normalizing that. That's a stop. It's laziness, and it's a lack of faith. It is a lack of faith, because you are saying that you can't accomplish anything, or it could never happen for you. The fact that you see somebody living, I guess, a life that you want to live, or whatever it is, that should be proof that it can happen for you. We can talk about that another time, but yes, I'll never subscribe to jealousy being a normal emotion ever, ever. Anyhow, back to the recap, right? We have the prophet going around doing her readings. Shamea is there. Shamea, I think, who was it? I think Kelli says that Shamea looks like Coming to America. Now, Shamea, love you to death, right? But I want Shamea to work on the fashions. I mean, Shamea has the body, the face, beautiful, but Shamea is still in 2015 with the fashions. Like, even that one confessional look where she has that leather pink jacket on, it's giving 2015 when you had those Valentino, those rock stud heels. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's still stuck in that particular time. And I need her to elevate to 2025, okay? She's got the wealth for a proper stylist. Yes, I agree. I agree. Yes, the material is there, but she needs the guidance. I agree. Yes, 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 yes. Child, oh, your comment has me screaming. Oh, you said, what does that have to do with Juneteenth? Wow. So Shamea, so the prophet says, who here has a Porsche? And Shamea says, I'm so petty. Does he have his eye on a Porsche or Porsha? And I'm like, Shamea, girl, you did not have to make that comment, okay? You did not have to make that comment. Like, just, you already know that Angela's pissed. Why add fuel to the fire? And if this were your husband, I don't think that you would take kindly to a joke like that. Just saying. So anyhow, the prophet says to Shamea that this is Shamea's money-making year. Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, James Potts III, thank you for the super chat. Shamea was giving Queen Latifah realness. Yes. I'm screaming. Queen Latifah realness. Yes, that jacket. Yes. Oh my gosh, she was. So anyhow, I'm a I'm a little stuffed up, as you guys can tell. So I like can't really laugh, like, because like I'll like start coughing. But no, I'm like trying to like stifle it because I cannot, like, that is hilarious. No, it was very much Queen Latifah realness. Yes, you said UNITY. I'm screaming. So anyhow, the prop. Wow, no, you should not have said that. I'm screaming. Hold, please. Okay. Y'all are so funny. You said, as someone whose parents are Kenyan, I was confused with what Shamea was wearing. So anyhow, Drew arrives. She says hi to Angela. And now the prophet says that she's going to do Drew's reading in private. So Drew says, yeah, I don't want it to be read in front of certain people. And now you have Porsha throwing shade, saying that Drew is being extra because she wants to tell the lies in front of everybody, but tell the truth in private. Once again, Porsha, can you please let me know what exactly is Drew lying about right now? The only person that I feel is not telling the truth is you. You couldn't even tell your mom and your sister what you really said at the pool in Nashville. So again, not too much about Drew being a liar when you are not truthful either. Just saying. So now we have Kelli asking Angela how she's feeling. And Angela says that she's in need of a good vibe. And then Brit says, you receive what you give. So now Angela says, well, let's talk about it. So Brit says, well, I think the prophet might have been spot on a little bit. And now Angela's like, girl, what do you have to say to me? Like, what do you want to tell me? Like, this energy, like, what's going on? So Brit says, do you not see the words coming out of my mouth right now? Now, why did Brit say that? Because the way Angela ate her up effortlessly, I said, Angela, whack her again, please. Angela says, Brit, calm down with that big ass mouth. I sure can read it. And then you have Brit saying, it sounds like you need to use your mouth a bit more often. So Angela says, well, I do, not as much as yours, though, with those stretch marks around it. I said, not stretch marks around the mouth. I said, my God. So now, when I tell you Brit was shaken up by that read, because she was like, stretch marks, like where? Like, show me. I said, girl, just sit down. I said, baby, just sit down. Like, the way Angela read you, like, girl, Angela is it, okay? So Angela says, you have miles on your mouth. Brit, you're a whore. I said, oh, I said, my God, today. So now Brit says, maybe you should be a whore in the bedroom so you can keep your man. Do you know about the baby? And then Angela's like, girl, who is the baby? So now Shamea says, well, if somebody said that my husband had a side baby, it would hurt my feelings. But then I'd be like, we've been trying for forever. Can we keep the baby? Now, Shamea, I still like you. I want to see you win. But I understand why some of my peers and some of my subscribers call you corny, because that was such a corny joke to say that if your husband had a side baby, you'd ask if you could have the baby. Shut up. You would be in tears if you found out that your husband had a side baby and a side chick. So stop. Like, it's like, I feel like sometimes you try too hard to be funny and it just doesn't land. And it really, yes, it's very cringy sometimes, right? Like, and again, I like Shamea, but it's like, Shamea, we don't have to just say something just to say it. That was just a dumb joke. Like, yes, no, she can be very corny sometimes. Like, I love her down, but Shamea, please. Child, yeah. So wait, one of y'all made a really good point. Oh, you said that's her letting the girls know she's not leaving Gerald if he cheats. Very cringe, though. Okay, wait. So I thought that I was crazy for thinking that too, because the thought crossed my mind. I was like, Shamea, are you trying to tell us something? Are you letting us know that if he does step out, you'll still be there by his side? Is that what this is? Either way, like you said, it was very cringe. Child, yeah, I wasn't here for that. Yes, honey. I was like, girl, shut up. Like, oh, yes. She was the same on Watch What Happens Live when she said, if someone can take my husband, then good riddance. Cornball, child. Just say I'm afraid of Porsha, child. Well, let's talk about that quickly, because when I saw the part where she said that her and Porsha are done, and I said, I don't believe this, because I believe at this reunion, Shamea will be crying for Porsha and she wants to still have that friendship. I don't know if I believe that. I feel like Shamea is talking a real good game now, but at that reunion, she will fold. Shamea is clicking down for sure. Thank you for the super chat. Kadaya 2 Torre, thank you for the super chat. But yeah, she was clicking down with that comment. Yeah, for real. So we have Angela and Brit going back and forth. Again, Angela ate her up, left no crumbs. And now we have Cynthia interrupting because she does not want them fighting at the Bailey Q. So they play a Juneteenth trivia game. One of the questions was, what was which president made Juneteenth an official holiday? And then the second question was, what was the period after, I think, Reconstruction? They all got it wrong. And then Porsha says, I've never been so loud and wrong in my life. Production was so petty. They played that Underground Railroad clip real fast. I said, now, Porsha, don't say that. You got on this camera in your first season and said 265 days in a year, and you thought that the Underground Railroad was an actual railroad. So not too much, girl. You were loud and wrong 12 years ago, okay? All right? Hey, the Perfume Preppy, thank you for the super chat. Shamea is RHOA Sutton, sad to see. Oh, okay, no, we have to go live either tomorrow or Friday, because I want to talk about Sutton. We got to talk about Sutton because, yeah. But yes, Shamea is giving me a little bit of Sutton, just a little bit. Yes. Hey, Amy Sullivan, thank you for the super chat. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. You look so beautiful on Instagram. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, honey, I was on Instagram zipping it and zooming it, all right? Yup. Her grandfather was good friends with Martin Luther King and was in the civil rights, sure was. And the fact that she didn't know that the Underground Railroad was not a real, she thought that the Underground Railroad was an actual railroad. That's shameful for many reasons. Did I miss it? Did I miss any super chats? I hope I didn't. Oh, I did. Hey, Rich the Fish, thank you for the super chat. Brooke, happy birthday again. Thank you. You are a psychic with how you predicted that Angela's daughter is married to a girl. Oh, okay. We'll talk about that later on. We will talk about that. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes, I promise you. But no, I can't take credit for that. I think, no, a lot of y'all said it. I can't take credit for that though. Y'all predicted it. I had no idea. I was just confused as to why she kept it hidden. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes, I promise you. Hey, Tammy A, thank you for the super chat. We know Drew's type is Ty Young, allegedly. Hey, Roosevelt Scott, thank you for the super chat. Okay, Taurus, May 6th over here. Yes, honey, May 6th. Yes, birthday twins. Hey, the Perfume Preppy, thank you for the super chat. Romance equals effort. My grandfather adored my grandma. Yes, I agree. Hey, Len Lou 007, thank you for the super chat. Here's the springtime in NYC and rooftop cocktails. Yes, you already know, okay? You already know. Thank you. Hey, the Perfume Preppy, thank you for the super chat. Porsha just embarrassed Georgia schools. Child, she embarrassed everybody. So now, Cynthia says they're done playing the game, and now Cynthia calls Porsha and Angela into one of her private rooms so that they can talk. So Angela says initially when she invited Drew on the trip, she thought that Porsha knew her intentions, and as the night progressed, she felt attacked. So Porsha says that from my point of view, Drew wasn't invited, and then Drew wasn't invited. So now Angela brings up what happened at 3 a.m. What was that all about? Was that about me? So Porsha's rambling on and on, saying that it was an after party and somebody brought something up to her. And Porsha says that it was a stupid comment. I shouldn't have said it. But then Porsha doubles back and says, well, maybe I should have said it because I was having a kiki with my friends. Do you see how Porsha can never just apologize and let that be that? For you to say, well, I apologize, I shouldn't have said it, but maybe I should have said it because I was having fun with my friends. Are you insane? I'm not understanding how Porsha thinks that what she's doing is correct. And I don't get how her stands turn a blind eye to this. All Porsha has to say is, I'm sorry. That's it. Why are we saying, well, I shouldn't take it back because I was just having fun with my friends? So that's how you have fun with your friends? By telling your friends in a group that you should F somebody else's husband? That's fun? What kind of conversation is that with your friends anyway? You and your friends are weirdos. If you and your friends sit around plotting on married men, you are all weirdos, you're desperados, and you're losers, period. Because I know if I'm around people who I consider friends, I'm not talking about no married man. And I damn sure do not want them to talk about no married man in front of me. That's weirdo behavior. What is going on? Is everybody okay? It's just weird. She has a hard time just saying I was wrong. But now you have Porsha throwing more shade. She says, I didn't know that Dumbo was up there listening with her big old ears. So now Angela is Dumbo with big ears because she overheard you saying, I'm going to F her husband. The way Porsha tries to shift blame is giving narcissist, because the fact that you're going to gaslight this woman for being mad at you when she's correct in feeling that way is crazy work. I hope Angela lights you all the way up at this reunion. I hope that Angela keeps her foot on your neck. I hope that Angela has you in tears, because the audacity of you to say Dumbo up there with her big old ears. Girl, what? You were caught saying I would F her man. She has every right to be upset. So anyhow, they make up. They're cool for the most part. And now we have Angela, and now Shamea comes in the room, and now it's time for her and Angela to talk. So Shamea says, I just want some closure on that text that you sent me the other day, because I want to know what part did I have in making you feel away. So Angela says, when your best friend said to you that I should F her husband, I thought that you as a married woman should have checked her. So Shamea says, well, that's Porsha talking her stuff, and I didn't feel like it was my place to check her. It's not my fight. So Angela says, well, I was disappointed in you. And Shamea says, well, it was some funny stuff to me. I was laughing the same way I laughed at my uncle's funeral because they had him buried as a pastor and he never went to church. I said, Shamea, are you all right? What does that have to do with anything? Like, I was getting annoyed with Shamea. Shamea, you look really goofy to me. I'm sorry, Shamea. It is what it is. But all you had to say was, you know what, Angela, that was not my intention. She should not have said that. I shouldn't have laughed. And like, just off of the whole thing about, you were in tears when Marlo made that comment about, well, I could F your husband if I wanted to. If he likes you, then he'll like me. Whatever Marlo said. But you were in tears when Marlo said that to you. So for you to be so cavalier about your best friend, who you claim is like your sister, for you to say that, well, that's not my fight. I understand that it's not your fight. And then you doubled down in the clubhouse too, because you told Andy, well, I'm raising two girls. Porsha's not my daughter, so I'm not going to check her on, and she's not my child. I understand that Porsha is an adult woman and she's not your child, but as a friend, as a sister, you can tell your sister when she's stepped out of line in a loving way. You could have easily said, you know what, Porsha, that's not cool. Like, let's not joke about effing anybody's husbands. And you're a wife yourself, right, Shamea? If somebody made a joke about that, about your man, you'd be upset. And you'd be upset if Porsha laughed at that. Like, I don't know. I just felt like, Shamea, I like you. I'm not going to say I don't like you just because of this one thing. But I'd be lying if I said that I'm understanding why a lot of my subscribers feel like you're goofy. Because this is very goofy behavior. And I'm trying to let you cook. But the behavior is getting a bit goofier as the episodes go on, and I'm not liking it. For you to act like you don't understand why Angela's mad at you is ridiculous. I get what you're saying. Well, how come Angela could forgive Porsha, but she can't forgive me? I get that. But at the end of the day, all you have to say is, you know what, Angela, I get your point. My bad. I shouldn't have laughed at that. That's not a funny joke. Period. Just saying. Thank you for the super chat, the perfume preppy. Shamea is supporting someone who isn't her real friend. Porsha does not want a friend. She wants fans and followers. Yeah, I agree with that. She wants yes men. She wants yes men. She wants, like you said, fans, followers. You cannot tell her the truth at any cost. The next episode did it for me with Shamea. I'm over her. I'm screaming. Shamea is giving me, what are those? They are clothes. I'm screaming. Can we talk about how irritating Kelli has become? Kelli brings zero and has turned into a sidekick. We'll talk about that in episode 10. I have my thoughts about Kelli. I think that Kelli started off really strong, but she's kind of fizzling out just a little bit. And I feel like with Kelli kind of blows with the wind. She kind of morphs into whoever she's with at the time. Like, when she's with this person, she's on your side. When she's with that person, she's on their side. It's sort of like a friend to all is a friend to nobody. That's the vibe that Kelli gives me. But we close out the episode with Shamea and Angela still not being on the same team. Shamea does not feel like she owes Angela an apology, and Angela is annoyed. So now we do end the episode with them taking some shots, having fun, and Cynthia, they take a group picture together, and that's where we close out. All right, sorry about that. All right. So, episode 10, we open up with Kelli making dinner with her girls. Not gonna hold you guys. It was a cute scene, but it wasn't that interesting to me. In my opinion, we see her asking her oldest daughter how school was. Her oldest daughter, Chloe, is giving her a rundown of her grades. We find out that Chloe has a different dad. They have a good co-parenting situation. She says that they're like brother and sister, but unfortunately, with her ex-husband, she doesn't know if they'll ever have that kind of relationship. Okay. Um, but we see that her oldest daughter, Chloe, is very into grades. She says that she got some A's and a few B's. And now we see that they are ready for a new house. Kelli got the house in the judgment, and she has to sell the house. The house used to be 7,000 square feet. And she says that being in this townhouse, they're all crowded together, right? So it was cute because the girls were roasting Kelli. I think one of the twins says, "Mom really can't cook that well." The youngest girl wants to be a chef. So her girls are so cute. They're adorable. But yeah, I mean, the family scene was cute. Um, when it comes to Kelli, like I said a few minutes ago, I think that Kelli, she started off really strong, but I do feel like she's kind of fizzling out. I hope that she picks it back up towards the end, but I'm getting the impression that Kelli is somebody who blows with the wind, and I can't get a gauge on who her loyalty is with, in my opinion. And yeah, we'll talk more about Kelli later on. But that was a cute scene, but we can move on, right? Yes, her oldest does look just like her. Yes, same face, same face. So now we see Shamea meeting up with Ralph. Now, Shamea, I said it literally 5 minutes ago, but the behavior is getting goofier by the day, and I'm not liking it. Why you felt the need to meet with Ralph to film a scene, I'm sorry, sis, but it feels desperate. This felt like desperation. I'm sorry, like I wasn't here for this. I didn't think that it was funny. No. Oh, okay. So you feel like Kelli is annoying. I still like Kelli, but certain things annoy me. Kelli got annoying to me after 3 episodes. Yes, meeting up with Ralph is nasty work. It's giving male identified. I agree. Yes, I wasn't here for this. So anyhow, they meet up. They're making small talk, asking about the kids, talking about how they're doing. Ralph says that since they did a podcast together some years ago with him, Todd, and Ross, Sonya's husband, he wanted to run another podcast by Shamea. He wants to call this podcast the Kings and Queens podcast. That's a horrible name for a podcast. I mean, yeah, I don't know that name does not do it for me. Okay. Also, Ralph, we don't want to hear you on a podcast. I thought that Ralph was this successful tech guy. So the fact that he now has a YouTube channel and a podcast is giving this man has always been unemployed and he's looking for a cash grab. That's what it's giving. He says that he wants the podcast to be a mix of Family Feud meets Battle of the Sexes. So Shamea is giving him some advice. She says, well, something to think about. You always want to leave room for sponsorship because that's where the money is. Shamea, why are you giving him advice when this podcast is not going to go anywhere? And didn't he launch his podcast, Ralph in the Basement, and it only has one episode out and nobody listened to it. So you're giving him advice on a podcast that's not going to do anything. A mess. So Shamea says, well, I don't think that there's anything wrong with meeting up with Ralph. And she says that her and Ralph were on a podcast a few years ago. They play the clip, and the podcast is from 2022, 3 years ago. And mind you, that podcast with Shamea only had 3 episodes. Shamea, you sound silly. Don't act like this was a big, full-blown production. It was a podcast that went defunct before it even started. So stop. Just say, I'm here to be messy, and that's why I called Ralph up to film this scene with me, because I need a moment. Stop. I'm so sick. I'm so sick of all this nonsense. Like, don't play around like this. And I mean, it's sad because a lot of these housewives look down on YouTube. Let me just be really for real. A lot of them look down on YouTube, and then when they see, oh, I can actually make a bag off of YouTube, they decide to come on YouTube or get on podcasts and try to make some money. Then when they see that it's not easy at all, because you're the editor, you're the producer, you're the talent, you're everything. When they see, oh, it's actually some work, then they leave it high and dry. They thought that it was going to be an easy coin. They think that it's going to be really easy to get that check on the 22nd, okay? They think it's going to be real easy. They want that Google AdSense check like the rest of us. And they see that, oh, it's actually some work that has to be done. And they leave it for dead. Think about all the reality girls who have started a YouTube channel and they left it for dead. It only has maybe 2 videos up tops. All right, let me stop it. Let me stop being shady. Well, no, I'm not being shady. I'm telling the truth. Okay? But I'm sick and tired. You have these house husbands, ex-husbands trying to get on YouTube, and they leave it high and dry because it's not easy. You got to actually put the work into it. All right? I'm actually surprised that Nene is being consistent now, because she's had her channel up for a long time and has been playing around. But since she's not on the show anymore, and she wants her Google check, she wants her Google check next week. So now she's up and at 'em. She's actually putting some work into her channel. Okay. Yes. Nene has a team behind her now. She does. I know I'm stating facts. Okay. I give it 3 more episodes, child. And those girls have assistants who probably help them. Yeah, and they still can't get content off the ground. Chop, baby. Yes, we did get on Nene. Yep. We got on Nene about it. Yep, because she even said it in her one of her videos. She said, "Yeah, I saw the comments. You guys got on me, so here I am." I said, "Okay, girl, let's see. Hopefully you keep this up. Hopefully." All right. So anyhow, Shamea says that I don't think Ralph had any ill intent meeting up with me. I'm a concerned citizen. Shamea, you've seen Ralph. You've been a friend of for over a decade now. You see how Ralph treats Drew. Why would you say, you know how horrible that man is? For you to say, well, I don't think that he had any ill intent to meet with me. Are you serious? Ralph is so desperate for TV time and a check, and he wants to drag Drew by any means. For you to sit up here and play naive, like, oh no, it's just innocent. No, it's not. So Shamea, I gotta whack you again for this goofy behavior, because she says, folks want to understand if Dennis and Drew are making hot dogs together. Shamea, really? You know Drew does not want Dennis. Can you stop saying that? And also, if you want to be a concerned citizen, then you need to be concerned about your friend, your best friend, your sister, making jokes about sleeping with people's husbands. Be concerned about that. So Shamea says, let's address the elephant in the room. I met you through your wife. It's heartbreaking. What's going on now? Now, for all my married people in the chat, my divorced people in the chat, let me know if I'm off base with what I'm about to say. I thought it was a little weird how Shamea referred to Drew as his wife, knowing that they are divorcing, right? They're estranged. They are soon to be exes. Shamea is making it sound like they got into a little argument and they're going to get back together soon. Like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird that she referred to Drew. I mean, I don't know. Let me know. Am I overthinking it? Like, maybe I'm not explaining it correctly, but I thought it was a bit weird that she referred to Drew, I guess, as the wife when they're clearly estranged, about to be divorced, right? No? Yes? Let me know. Baby, the way you are dragging Shamea in this chat, I am screaming. Oh, one more thing. Shamea's outfit in this scene, I said Shamea literally put on every logo that she owns and slapped it on. Those boots gave me a headache. She had the big Dolce & Gabbana belt, the Chanel. She had the Chanel bag, the Chanel earrings, the Chanel brooch, a Chanel jacket, Chanel shorts, Dolce & Gabbana belt. I said, it's too many labels. I said, oh my goodness. I said, Shamea, if you don't run to the nearest stylist, then I know something. Shamea has so much money. I mean, the material is there. Shamea is a beautiful woman, but the pieces are just not hitting. It's very tacky. I said, Shamea, please. And they always say, you know, when you wear logos, it has to be a uniform. You can't wear a whole bunch of logos. If you're wearing Chanel, it has to be all Chanel. It can't be Chanel, YSL. Remember what Jenna Lyons told Jessel in that one episode of New York? She said, you're like a walking billboard. It's tacky. Take that off. Either commit to one designer, or if you do wear multiple designers, then they can't be monogrammed. It can't be all logos. It has to be, okay, you're wearing Chanel, but we don't see the logo. I mean, oh my God, she had everything on. Ooh, yes, the pieces aren't piecing. And Shamea had the nerve to say Angela does not dress well. The call is coming from inside the house. Yeah, I mean, say what you want. I think that Angela has looked really good. I've yet to say that Angela looks tacky. I think that, no, Shamea, no. I'm coughing at that one. No, Shamea, I'm sorry, Shamea. What are you wearing, Shamea? I'm wearing Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, and Ralph Lauren. You guys are so funny. Yeah, no. Yeah, Angela dresses way better. No, I agree. No, Shamea, please. It should have been all Chanel or all Dolce & Gabbana. I mean, Shamea, girl, it was just too much at once. I said, oh, girl, please. Shamea, season 17, you have got to call a stylist, for real. You have to. It is a must. Please. Child. All right. So, we have Ralph says that he met Drew at 3 months. No, he says that he proposed to Drew at 3 months. They got married at 5 months, and she became pregnant at 8 months. I was like, all right. I mean, I'm all for, when a man knows what he wants, he knows what he wants, and he moves quickly. But in Ralph's case, I feel like he moved quickly because he wanted that money. He was a user. Because I'm like, that's real quick. Between 8 months time, you're engaged, married, and then she's pregnant with your first child together. That's quick. That's quick. That's real quick. And I feel like the quickness is not because it was so much love. It feels like it was more of grifting. This woman is an actress. She has money. Because again, we've yet to see what Ralph does for a living. The season before this one, he was writing a book that never came out. So yeah, I feel like he moved quickly on her because he wanted those resources, in my opinion. Yeah, this is beyond love at first sight. I agree. Yep, he said, I'm leaving with something. Ralph moved like a real homosexual. Yes! Wait, talk about it. Wait a second. You know how there's that saying that says, nobody falls in love faster than a man looking to move into your place? Ladies, do not be fooled, especially in the winter months, okay? Some of these men, they're not in love with you. They need 3 hots and a cot, okay? They need a place to stay because they're bums. No jobs, no apartments of their own, no homes of their own. And some of these desperate women are getting swept off their feet by a no good bum of a man. I believe that Ralph fell in love so quickly and swept her off her feet because he needed a place to stay. He needed 3 hots and a cot, okay? They need shelter. I'm serious, y'all. Oh, you said Chili's lady, we talking to you. Mm-hmm. Child, you can't pull a man up to your level, but he can drag you to his. Exactly. A man who has nothing to lose will help you lose everything. Write that down, okay? Remember that. Y'all, I'm serious. If you own a home, if you have a luxury car, if you have a good job, as a woman, you have to have a man who is on your level or above. If he is, I'm sorry, people get mad when I say this. You can fight me until the cows come home, but it's the truth. Look at all the famous women who have married, they've gone married down, and they're living in a nightmare. Women, I'm sure that you have seen in your lifetime, they have married men, married down, they tried to build a man up, and it's a disaster. The man has got to be on your level or have more than you. My grandma used to always say, if you have 2, the man has to have 4. If you have 3, he has to have 6. If you make 100,000, he has to make 200,000. Y'all, I'm serious. Stop fooling around with these men who are not on your level. You will live to regret it. That's how these women ends up with their life force sucked out of them. They're miserable. The man's giving them hell. He's cheating, taking all their money, spending it on other women. It just does not work. Please, y'all, you are better off dating and being single than marrying down. That woman, the Black woman, I think a year ago, I talked about this on another live a few months ago. There was a Black woman. She was a doctor. I think she was like the head doctor of her hospital. She made almost 7 figures. She was older. She was in her like late 40s, early 50s. Unfortunately, very, desperate for love. She met a man. He didn't have any of that. And he took her life out of jealousy, didn't feel like a man. So please, y'all, this is not about being mean. It's the truth. Men have to feel like the hero. Do yourself a favor. Just, y'all, please, if you don't take anything else out of what I'm saying, listen to this, please, y'all. Please. Like, do not let desperation or loneliness take you out, because it will. It really will. I'm serious, y'all. You have to. It's just yes. No, it's true. No, this is a very clear case. Listen, and I mean, my prayers go out to Hallie and her son. My prayers go out to her. But no, it's not a game. These insecure men are dangerous. Yes, this is not Build-A-Man, exactly. Okay? But yes, y'all, I think that I don't believe that it was a whirlwind romance. And when Shamea said that, I said, Shamea, are you that goofy to think that this was a whirlwind romance? It was not. Ralph felt like, look, I caught a sucker, I caught a lick, let me trap her, let me get her and take her resources and then hop out and leave. I don't believe that he had pure intentions at all. I don't. A mess. So now we have Ralph says he didn't have time to get to know Drew and he doesn't like who she's become. For a man to say that I don't like who, she's become, that's also a red flag. I believe that Ralph is angry that Drew is no longer his, I mean, well, let me choose a better choice of words, but I believe that he wanted a doormat and he's upset that Drew is speaking up and she's like, I'm not going to take crumbs anymore. He wanted a proverbial punching bag. He did. And he's mad that she's saying no more. I'm not going to do this. I deserve more. That's why he doesn't like who she's become, because I'm sure that Drew is walking on eggshells with that man for years. A lot of times Drew looked terrified of him. Yeah, he wanted a pick-me puppet. I agree. Yes, he does give Mark Daly vibes. Exactly. Ralph was trying to come up off of Drew's success. Oh, yes, he was. Absolutely. Yeah, Drew found her voice. Even if Drew cheated with Ty, it's warranted because he was down in Tampa. Oh, yeah, I feel the same way. I agree. Shamea must be a pick-me or a secretly vengeful person to want to entertain this conversation with Ralph on TV, where Drew's children can see just because Drew is doing business with Dennis. I agree. I feel like, Shamea, I thought you were better than this because there's no reason why you should be having a dinner with Ralph. This is beneath you, for real. So now Ralph says even the whole situation with Dennis and Drew and Porsha, that was a big one right there. He says that Dennis reached out to me to get the blessing. That's respect. So now he says, isn't Drew still working with Porsha on the hair? And Shamea says, oh, I don't know. So just as they're talking about Porsha shows up. Immediately, Porsha says, I want to clear this up. I'm not hanging out with Ralph. I didn't call him. It's not tit for tat. Ralph says, a disclaimer, I had no idea that Porsha was even coming to dinner. Do I believe any of this? No, I don't. I believe that Ralph knew and fully expected Porsha to be at that dinner. This whole thing was so fake of, oh, I had no idea. Porsha, it's clear that you're being vindictive and you do want to pay Drew back. So that's why you're going to meet up with her horrible soon-to-be ex-husband. I thought it was really pathetic of you to say, oh, no, it wasn't planned. I didn't plan this. It's not what it looks like. It is what it looks like. It is. So Shamea says that she invited Porsha because it's important for her to have witnesses. So Porsha says that she's hungry. No. Porsha says that she's just hungry. That's why she's here. So now Shamea says that she feels like they summoned Porsha because they were just talking about Porsha and Drew. And if Drew is still working with Porsha with the go naked hair. So Porsha says, no, we severed ties. So Porsha is asking about the business that they were talking about. Shamea says that Ralph was asking me about his podcast. And then Shamea makes a joke saying that Ralph is going to be paying for dinner tonight. Now, I thought it was funny how Porsha and Shamea were ordering up. They were ordering snapper, mashed potatoes, steak, branzino. They were ordering, baby, they were making sure that bill was going to be sky high. Ralph looked nervous as hell to me. I got the impression that Ralph had to check his account under the table to make sure that he could pay for the dinner because they were ordering up on his dime. And I said, but Ralph, that's what you get. If this bill comes out to $1,000, that's what you get. Because for you to sit up there and even film with your soon-to-be ex-wife's castmates, you deserve it. A mess. Yup, he was hoping that card went through. He sure was. Ralph can't afford the bill of food. He can't. He surely asked for their Cashapp off the screen. I am screaming. He was shaking in his rented boots. He was. So Ralph is like, oh, give these ladies a shot. And Porsha says, no, perhaps not. So she goes on to say that Dennis sent her a text the other day, pretty much saying that he said that he wouldn't F Drew and to run him his money. So Ralph is surprised. He says, oh, wait, let me see that. So Porsha says that she's showing the text to Ralph to show Ralph that they didn't have sex. He was telling Drew no. And he said, run me my money, not that ass. Porsha, I think that you need help. I wrote that in my notes that you need help because for you to carry on such a horrible lie, you know good and damn well that Drew did not ask Dennis to have sex with her. You know that. And you know how I know you're lying? Because when there are receipts on the Housewives, production will post the receipts on the screen. The fact that we have not seen the receipts of these text messages between Drew and Dennis says a lot. Just my opinion. Exactly. Why aren't we seeing the text on the screen? Exactly. Sorry about that, guys. All right, my throat is getting a bit dry, honey. Girl, oh, sorry about that. We have Porsha saying that the streets are super lit about them. And then she's like, Ralph, are the rumors about... Sorry about this, guys. Give me like 2 seconds to just like catch my breath, all right? Okay, we're back. I told you guys in the beginning, I'm like, I caught like a little cold over the weekend. I guess I was too outside, honey. So yes, honey, I caught a little cold out of nowhere. So we are fighting the cold. So excuse me for the coughing fit, but we are back. All right. Yes. Oh, wait, not you being nosy. You said who gave you a cold, child? Again, I've been out. So I got a cold from somebody. One of y'all already threw shade at me in the beginning, honey. I was screaming. Thank you guys for being so patient. I appreciate it. Thank you. You see how folks do you talk about, oh, who gave you that cold? Okay. Y'all ain't right. Y'all, oh, you said zipping it and zooing it. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, honey, not y'all reading me down. I am screaming. Yes, honey, I'm having a good old time. Okay. All right. Where was I? So Porsha says the streets are super lit about that. And then she goes on to ask Ralph about the rumors about him. Are they true? So Shamea's asking Ralph if he thinks that Dennis and Drew are romantically linked. And Ralph says, I don't know. I thought she had somebody else. So now Porsha brings up how the comment that Drew made earlier. And Porsha says, you know that that girl talked about my child. She said I could send her to college. Can you imagine? So Ralph says, that's very disrespectful. I can't believe that she said that. Now, Porsha, you know good and damn well that that's not talking about your child. Drew made a joke saying this music is going to do so well that I'll probably be able to pay for Pilar's college tuition later on, right? Wait, not you trying to get in my business in this chat. See, this is why these lives have to be monitored, because y'all really be, I see that comment that you made, not you trying to get all in my business. See, y'all know y'all are so y'all think I don't catch. Y'all think I don't catch y'all because I don't look at the chat, but I be catching y'all in from my side eye, not y'all shading me down in the chat. Wait. Oh, do you see how do y'all see how y'all be reading me? Y'all can never say that y'all can't tell me anything because y'all will read me in my own chat, okay? Listen, honey, y'all are, I love y'all down. I'm screaming, okay? Anyhow, wait, not you said you out here catching flights and catching calls. Wait! I am screaming. Y'all need to stop playing with me today, all right? You see, I should have waited till I was better because I knew one of y'all was going to say something like this. Y'all are too much. It ain't nobody's business. Y'all will not get me today. Y'all will not get me today. Why would y'all do this? Why would you say that? Y'all said, Oh, you say, is it a read because there's some truth? Oh, wait, not you can't read me on my own live. Oh, wait. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Wait a second. Okay, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop playing with me today. Oh, y'all be reading down. All right, enough. Child, please. Okay. Anyhow, child. Well, anyhow, yes, honey. You said y'all asking the wrong person, wrong road. Exactly. Yes, they spill. Exactly. They spilling my tea. No, my mama's in the chat. No, my mama's in the chat. You see how they do me. You see how the folks do me, child. Oh, y'all need to stop. Y'all are so messed up for y'all to be saying that. Oh, you said I was in Walgreens. You better stop it. Y'all are messy. Y'all are messy. I don't know how I got this cold. I got this cold because I was out. It was windy one of those nights. That's how I got the cold. Child, that's how I got the cold. And that's it. Child, I got the cold from the wind. That's it. Do I curse? I've never heard you curse in a review. Oh, I know I curse. I've cursed. Yeah. Well, you know what it is? I do it in a way that you don't really notice it. Well, oh yes, I curse. I have a potty mouth, like in real life. Oh yeah. I'm not even gonna hold you. I do curse. On YouTube, you can't curse a lot because they'll play with your money on like the videos, right? You can like lose monetization or they'll limit your monetization if you curse too much. But yeah, when I curse, it's very subtle. You don't really notice it, you know? But yeah, I do. Y'all are shady. Yes, it's very classy. Yeah, it's very classy. Cheeks more rosy than the Campbell Soup kids. Wow, you know what? You need to stop. Y'all need to stop playing with me today. Yeah, you said, does she curse? They gotta be new here. You said it was snowing in Pasadena, child. I'm screaming. Child, please. Okay, anyhow, yes, my cursing is very demure, very mindful. Okay, hi, Miss Dogan. You, thank you for the super chat. Shamea has a stylist team who dresses just as tacky. Oh, okay, so that's why. Got it. Thank you for the super chat. Kadaya to Torre. You cheesing hard must be guilty. I'm not cheesing. I'm just over here minding my business, trying to fight this little cold. That's it. I'm just out. Okay. No, I love y'all back. Okay. So anyhow, let's get back to the main topic, okay? Oh, wait. Okay, you know what? I'm really screaming at this comment. Okay, wait, no. Your one comment has me on the floor. Do you see this comment? I'm not even going to read it out loud. You know what? I am screaming. Okay, you know what? Y'all need to stop. Y'all too much in my business. All right. Let's go. Anyhow, where were we? let's let's get back to the recap, okay? So now okay, so Porsha goes on to ask, who filed for divorce first? And Ralph says he filed first. So Porsha's like, well, what was your reasoning for filing, right? And Ralph says that she had an affair with Ty. Let me pause for a minute. I think that it is wild that Porsha is questioning somebody about what they have going on. How are you questioning this man about his divorce when you can't even speak about your divorce with Simon? You won't even tell us the truth about how you and Simon got together. You won't even address what you did on your spinoff show. You tried to physically assault your child's grandmother's your child's grandmother. You've done a lot on national TV that you have yet to address and apologize for, but you think that you have the right to ask anybody about what's going on in their life. The audacity, the absolute audacity. And you guys are right. Drew did file first. Remember when it all hit the fan and hit the blogs? She went to the courthouse first. She beat him to the courthouse. So him saying that he filed first is a lie. Yeah, that's all it was. It was a setup to talk bad about Drew. Exactly. So now you have him talking about she had an affair with Ty. If Drew did have an affair with anybody, at the end of the day, I don't feel any way about it because you treated that woman poorly. You went off to Tampa and you still wouldn't tell her who you went to Tampa with. We all know that it was another woman. You have been cheating left and right throughout the marriage. A few episodes ago, when Drew was with her lawyer, the lawyer even said other women were DMing you about how he was in their DMs. He was outside with a whole bunch of women who were not Drew Sidora. So for him to say that she was cheating, stop. I cannot stand Ralph. I really can't. Child, a mess. So now Porsha goes on to ask, if he ever cheated. Have you ever sniffed another woman? Ralph says, of course. So now Shamea's like, look, did you ever cheat on Drew? Yes or no? Ralph says, no, I never cheated. We all know that's a lie. So now Ralph brings up Drew and Porsha, and he says, well, speaking of Drew, you guys were like this. And Porsha says, no, we're not. And then Shamea says, well, I don't have an issue with Drew. Excuse me, sorry about that. And then Shamea brings up how the women feel like she is always on Porsha's side. She's her lapdog. So Shamea says, apparently what I eat makes you SHIT. Even Angela feels that way. We see the flashback of Cynthia's Bailey cue. And now Porsha and Shamea get into it. Porsha says that Angela was trying to hold you accountable for what you did. So Shamea says the fact that you and Angela can be okay and make amends, and she won't make amends with me because I laughed about what you said, is ludicrous. So Shamea says that defending Porsha brings animosity amongst her and the women, but that's the kind of friend that she is. She's very loyal. Shamea, there's a difference between being a loyal friend and goofy. And I feel like we're on goofy territory because you're not in a reciprocal friendship. You are always going to war and speaking for Porsha, but when it's the other, when the shoe's on the other foot, Porsha leaves you high and dry every time. So you look foolish. You really do. And the fact that you can't just own up to the fact that you should not have laughed at your friend making a joke about effing somebody else's husband shows me that you're afraid of Porsha. That's it, and that's all. And that's why when people say, again, there's a difference between being loyal and being a doormat. I think that some people think it's easier to never confront their friend because they're afraid of what might happen if they say, hey, I didn't like how you did this, or maybe you shouldn't have done that. Shamea knows deep down inside that Porsha's not able to be a good friend to her. And instead of realizing that, she wants to keep Porsha and just deal with her mess and stuff down her true feelings, even though she knows that Porsha does not treat her right. A mess. Yeah, she's an enabler. She is. Shamea is afraid of Porsha. Oh, absolutely. I'm not buying this defending Porsha. It seems like another setup to have a storyline. Yes, loyal or foolish. I agree. Drew even said in a recent YouTube video that Ralph was bringing women into the basement while their kids were at home, allegedly. Damn. My God. That conversation was a 3-person goofy convention. I just checked my friend the other day. I said how I felt. I said, I still love you, but you pissed me off real quick. Well, I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you were able to address your friend and say how they made you feel. Oh, you think it's that? Porsha has some tea on Shamea that Shamea doesn't want let out. Oh, I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. But you know what? May I be honest with you? I could never let anybody have that kind of power over me. And I tell people this. I say, if we should ever fall out, because I always brace myself for that. That might sound kind of morbid, but it is what it is. If we ever fall out, right? I know how folks are. Folks like to air people out, right, once they're done. But I always say, if you ever think that I'm going to remain in a friendship or a relationship with you just because I'm afraid of you revealing some secrets, you have the wrong girl. I promise you, you're not spraying me with nothing, because I can assure you I will let my own stuff out before I let anybody blast me. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if that is the case with Porsha and Shamea, I think that that's really sad, because I'm like, Shamea, you're holding yourself hostage. You know what I'm saying? I just no. I think that's sad. If that really is the case, Shamea, let Porsha go, and whatever she has to say about you, let it out. Like, who cares? Everybody's like, who cares? Not like, nothing is shocking. Everybody's grown. You know, everybody's done stuff. So it's like, who cares? Like, don't let anybody try to weaponize your past, or like, don't let anybody weaponize what you've done as a way to keep you in a relationship. Like, don't let anybody blackmail you in that way. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. I'll spill my own tea first. Oh, absolutely. I will never let anybody. I will never let anybody have me in a friendship just because I'm afraid of something like that. No way. So anyhow, we now cut to Angela at one of her investment properties. And we know that Angela owns 5 investment properties. She hasn't sold any of them yet. She's in debt $2 million. We see Kelli arrive, and we know that Kelli and Angela, things were tense between them. So Kelli's like, is it okay if I give you a hug? Angela does give her a hug. So Kelli says that she did feel bad about saying that Charles had a secret baby, but she does want to be on Angela's good side. So we see Angela showing Kelli around her investment property, and we find out that this particular house is about to hit the market in 10 days. Now, the house is going for, I think, $3 million. It's a beautiful house. It's huge, but I don't think that it's worth $3 million. I think that, Angela, for you to have such a massive house and the primary bedroom has that tiny closet, what are we doing? That closet is like a shoebox. My closet is bigger than that. I'm just like, yeah, girl, we can't sell a $3 million house, but have a shoebox for a closet. That's unacceptable. I was shocked to see that. Kelli was like, yeah, I don't know about this house, girl. You know, it's a cute house, but I don't know if this house is worth $3 million. Yes, the home needs a lot of work. I agree. Angela's setting the price high to get a decent offer. That's all. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I feel like, but I think that if you price it too high, that people won't go and look. You know what I'm saying? I think that maybe Angela would get more people to look if she would price it at about, I think the house could go for maybe 1.5, maybe 2 at the most. But I think that 3, she's not going to get anybody to even come in and look at it, in my opinion. Angela should have renovated better because it has the size to go for $3 million. But once I saw the inside, yes, I agree with that. So we now see Kelli and Angela talking, and Angela is asking her about this whole side baby stuff, right? Angela sets the record straight. She says that we've been together for 8 years. We've been married for 8 years, but been together for 10 years, right? She says that Charles is her best friend. So Kelli says, well, that's beautiful. And now Angela says, it seems like you came across my marriage talking like you knew something. What do you know? What do you think you knew? What do you think you know? So Kelli apologizes, and now Angela says, if you want to know something, just talk to me. So Angela brings up the whole side baby thing, and she says that Charles was hosting an event with Wendy Williams. We all know what happened with Wendy Williams and her ex-husband. He had the side baby on her, all that, right? So Angela says that she walked up to Wendy and said, "Oh, Wendy, it's only a baby." So when Wendy asked her, "Have you ever been through this?" she said yes. But Angela's saying that she meant she went through this with her baby's father, not with Charles. So she says that when Wendy talked about it on her show, she was obviously referring to Charles Oakley, and that's how the story blew up, that it was Charles who had the side baby. So she says that Charles does not care about what people think about this. And now Kelli says, "I'm glad that you cleared this all up because marriage is hard." Once again, I hate how people just subscribe to that whole negative mindset about marriage is like a chore and it's hard. I hate hearing that, but whatever. So Angela says, then you have groupies on top of that. And Kelli goes on to ask if there was cheating in their marriage. So Angela admits that there was infidelity. It happened during the whole Madison Square Garden incident when he got kicked out. And he did it to feel validated. So Angela says that the storybook romance does not exist. Once again, what I said earlier on in this live, I think that Angela, in my humble opinion, I feel like Angela makes a lot of these blanket statements to cope with the difficulty of her marriage. Again, just my humble opinion. Before all the married women try to get at me and are upset with what I'm saying, just hear me out. I feel like to say the storybook romance, doesn't exist. I think that people say things to cope with what they've settled for. Because I do believe that you can have what you want in this life. I do. I really do. And I think that for whatever reason, Angela has convinced herself that she has to accept whatever Charles gives her. I just don't like the way Charles talks to her. I really don't. I don't see that romance between them. I know some people say, well, every man's not, this or that. And, I guess, but I don't know. I guess their marriage just, I have my thoughts. I'll say that. But yeah, I just think that Angela's very, I guess I just feel like she's very kind of like negative when she talks about her marriage. And I feel like she does it as a way to cope with what she's dealing with from Charles, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, we're a lot of us are right here in the comments when it comes to Charles and Angela's marriage. I agree. But I do think that that's sad that he was cheating and she put up with it. Now, I did watch the after show where Angela said that when this happened, she actually did have divorce papers written up, but they worked through it. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm happy to hear that she was going to leave him. But I don't know, the way Angela acts, I feel like he'd have to leave her because I get the impression that Angela would really stay through anything with Charles. I really do. And it's no shade towards Angela, but I get that impression that she's very much ride or die for that man. Just my 2 cents. Yes, I saw that sneak peek of next week's episode. He's asked to say if he loves her, and he just he couldn't say it. Yeah, it was very cringy. We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, what kind, like, your husband can't say I love you? Like, it's ridiculous. Yes, it's not a balanced relationship. I agree. I think they love each other, but not in love. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Marriage takes effort on both sides, but that's not the same as being hard. Yes, this is beautifully said. Thank you for saying that. Yes. Okay, so a lot of us are right here on that. May that kind of Charles love never find me. I agree. Bingo, it's all coping and honestly lack of education. We repeat what we see. I think she likes Charles Oakley, the basketball player, and doesn't want to let it go. Yes, I think I said that in my first when in the recap for the premiere episode when she said, my husband's the legendary, put some respect on his name. I think that Angela is very enamored with the fact that she's married to a celebrity. I think that it's so enticing for her that whatever he does, she'll take it because she likes being married to a star. I think that that's a big chunk of why she puts up with this. I really do. No, I listen, marriage doesn't last solely on love. I know that marriage takes more than love. It takes respect too, but I don't feel like I see respect. You know what I'm saying? Please don't get it twisted. I'm not so naive, I'm not so childish to believe that marriage is solely based on romantic love and attraction. No, there is more to that than that. Listen, I agree. Even my parents said that, right? But I feel like there should still be some mutual respect and some kindness, and I don't see that on his part. That's all I'm saying. Please don't mistake what I'm saying that I'm naive to think that it's only about romance and attraction. I know that it's more than that, right? But I don't think that marriage should be so hard. And the way a lot of married people make it sound, and no offense to married people, but you guys don't give it the best PR. Folks make it seem like it's drudgery and that it's just like, oh my God, it's the worst thing that ever happened. You know what I'm saying? So, let me get off of that. But yes, I get what you're saying. It does not last solely on love. I agree. I've heard that said, but I just want to see some kindness on Charles's end. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Yes. We see each other. She comes from the generation of by any means keep the family together, and it hurts so much to watch these women lose themselves in it every time. Remember, Dr. Samoa said on Married to Medicine that Cecil doesn't say that he loves her either, and she had a big issue with that. Oh, I forgot about that. Yes, some married couples look like they've been stuck in the desert for 40 days and nights. Yes. Married people say all that to keep others from getting married, but they are still married. All right, so we see Angela putting it all to bed, and now she goes on to ask if Kelli has spoken to Shamea. So Kelli says not since the Bailey Q, and Angela says, I thought that Shamea and I had begun to develop a friendship. Her and I did talk at the Bailey Q. It didn't go right. I didn't vibe with it because her and I have had private conversations in regards to Porsha. So we find out that Angela spent some time with Shamea. They went out to dinner after Shamea had her song. And Shamea revealed to Angela that she had issues with Porsha. We found out that Shamea told Angela that Porsha did not want her to be in the group, and it hurt Shamea that Porsha did not come to her wedding. So Angela says, I told Shamea that she needs to have that conversation with Porsha, but she told me that she was afraid. Now, just like you guys said earlier on, how you believe that Shamea is afraid of Porsha, I think that Shamea is afraid of Porsha because the fact that Shamea is telling all this to Angela, a new friend, but can't say this to her friend of 20 years, that's a problem. That's a problem. Oh, well, I'm really happy to hear that. I'm happily married and have fun with mine. Well, I'm really happy to hear that. My hubby and I are college sweethearts. I feel blessed that I married my friend. We actually like each other. My man. Well, I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you. y'all are seeing 30-second clips of 11-year marriage. Please stop. Well, no, I'm not going to stop, because when you decide to put your life on TV, we do have a right to comment on it. So again, I never claimed to know the ins and outs of their marriage, but from what I'm seeing, I don't like what I'm seeing, and I'm allowed to have my opinion and comment on it. If Angela was so concerned about us commenting on her marriage, she wouldn't have joined the show. Respectfully. I think that people are allowed to say, sorry guys, I have to make sure that nothing is in my nose. Forgive me. People are allowed to say, hey, this kind of looks a little bit weird. I don't like the way he speaks to her, period. And I'm going to keep saying it until the cows come home, and you can feel how you want to feel about it. But it's my opinion, and nothing's going to change until I see Charles talking to her with some respect. Just my opinion. And again, nobody is claiming to know the ins and outs of what we see for 30 seconds on a screen. But every time we see Angela and Charles, he never speaks to her nicely. And guess what? Angela and Charles don't care. Well, that's great if they don't care. That's great. But my thing is this, though. If they didn't care, I feel like Angela does care about the comments, because she wouldn't have to go so hard defending it all the time, in my opinion. I mean, I have the right to say that I don't like the way I have the right to say that I don't like the way somebody speaks to their wife. I don't know. But anyhow, Angela Kelli says that you should be able to tell your best friend anything. And she says, I don't know why Shamea was confiding in Angela. And then she says, Angela needs to mind her business. Now, Kelli, I think that it's rich coming from you, because Kelli isn't everybody's business, okay? I think that Kelli is kind of the wrong person to say that, because she's in this person's ear, she's over here, she's over there. So Kelli, not too much, just saying. Now, knowing how much of a bone collector Angela is, Shamea should have thought twice about confiding in her about Porsha. And again, it does show that Shamea is afraid of Porsha, because why are you telling somebody else and not going to your friend directly? Just saying. You said Kelli's a flip-flopper. Yes, I agree. So we have Angela saying that Shamea needs to put her big girl panties on and put it on the floor and talk to Porsha. And I agree. We're going to skip past Brit and her husband, Mike. I don't care. So now we see Angela at another rental property, and we see her playing tennis with her oldest daughter, Amari, and Porsha comes over. Angela, with the shade flawlessly done, Angela says, I decided to meet Porsha at my rental property because under no circumstances will I invite a woman who said she'll F my husband to my real home. I said, Angela, ate that right on up, girl. I know that's right. You don't have everybody in your home, okay? Let's talk about that. You don't ever have any, y'all, your home is your sacred space. Do not invite any and everybody up in there, okay? If you saw Sinners, shout out if you saw Sinners, but that was a lesson in that movie about you don't let everybody in your home, okay? So yes, honey, Angela got that right. So Porsha says that when she met Angela at first, she liked her. She thought that Angela was a bad bitch. She says that she's glad that her and Angela have come to an understanding. So she says she hopes they can form a friendship, so that way Angela does not have to be just friends with Drew. Y'all are still going on about my comments and my feelings about how Charles speaks to Angela. Listen, if you like it, that's great. But I'm going to state how I feel. I was raised with a father who spoke to my mom with the utmost respect in a very loving way. He was very soft with her. My dad was very soft with me and my sister. He always taught us that you get with a man who speaks to you the way I speak to your mother. So for me personally, I just can't get with a man speaking to a woman harshly. That's just my opinion. If you are in a marriage like Angela and Charles, great. God bless. But, I see some folks in the chat and some of y'all are like really upset with how I feel. I have never proclaimed to be some marriage expert. I'm not married as of yet. But I did have a good example, and these folks are on a show, and I do give my opinion. So let us move on and let's talk about Angela and Porsha, shall we? Because it should not be that my one little opinion should not trigger anybody to the point where, we're throwing jabs in the comments. Okay, let's move on. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Yes. All right. We right here. Okay. Exactly. Oh, you said a hit dog will holler, child. Woo. We got 905 folks in the chat, and some of y'all are cutting up real hard in this chat. I see some of these comments. You think I don't see you, but I see you. And some of y'all are mad at me. And I'm like, all right, let's relax. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yup. We see each other. So anyhow, I thought it was cute. Porsha and Angela playing tennis. I love tennis. I'm a tennis girl. I used to go to tennis camp every single year as a teen. I'm a tennis girl. Okay. Porsha says, Porsha says that Angela has long arms. She has a big wingspan. Angela says, she had no idea that Big Bird could play tennis, but I had no idea that Snuffleupagus could play either. Again, Angela with the reads, just effortless. I mean, the shade is just impeccable. So they sit down and we see Porsha say hello to Amari, Angela's oldest daughter. So Porsha's asking how many daughters does Angela have? Angela says, I have 2 daughters. And Porsha's like, oh, is this the one that got married? Angela says, yes. We find out that Angela's oldest daughter is married to a woman. Angela says that her partner is a sweet girl. Now, several of y'all, when the episode came out, right? This was 5 episodes ago, when we found out that Amari was married. And I was confused. I said, well, how is she married, but she's living with the grandmother and the aunt and has to use the grandma's car, but her mom and stepdad are millionaires? Like, it just wasn't adding up to me. And I even said, I was like, does Amari's spouse have a job? So, excuse me. So several of y'all said, Brooke, I believe that Amari is married to a woman, because you notice that they never said pronouns. I didn't catch that. I just assumed that she was married to a man. Again, I didn't think one way or the other, right? One of y'all made a point in the comments about you had a feeling that she was married to a woman, because you said, I believe that the reason why the grandma and the aunt fell out with her is due to homophobia. And now it makes sense. And when Amari said that her aunt, Angela's sister, calls her a demon, one of y'all said, I believe that she called her a demon because, and now it's like, oh, I think, so that probably might be the reason why there's friction with the family, because Amari is a lesbian. And that's really messed up if that is the case. I hope that's not the case, but one of y'all made the connection. I didn't even catch that when the episode aired. But yeah, that probably might be the reason why the aunt and her grandma fell out with Amari, right? I don't know. But one of y'all said that in my comments when that episode aired because I was so confused. I was like, why is Amari living with the grandma and the aunt if she's married? And there's like, yeah, so yeah. But that, I mean, it's clicking, right? It's starting to click now and fill in the holes because I felt like we were missing a whole lot. Yeah, the story made no sense. I didn't clock any of that, but Sally, that makes a lot of sense. She felt just sad. She didn't feel like she could involve her mom in the wedding. I really hope there's no homophobia in Angela. Yeah, I hope there's none either. I mean, Angela sounded supportive. She said that the woman is a nice woman. She's a sweet woman. So hopefully, who knows? Listen, who knows? Maybe we'll find more out about that at the reunion, I'm guessing. I figure they fell out because she acted entitled to the things her mom bought for her grandma. Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I'm still confused about everything because I feel like um if if she's married, shouldn't she live with her wife? Like so I'm thinking where is the wife living? Is the wife living with the grandma and the aunt too? Like I'm still confused about this. And I still want to know at the end of the day, Amari has a rich mom and a rich stepfather who could buy her a car. So I'm still confused about everything. I'm still confused. So I guess we'll find out more about it, but we know a little bit more about Amari and her spouse. But I still feel like her daughter was in the wrong to gaslight Angela when Angela confronted her about why didn't you tell me you got married? That was really messed up. Like for you to try to belittle your mom's feelings and act like she can't be upset. Are you serious? That's a huge milestone in somebody's life, and you're gaslighting your mom like she doesn't have the right to be upset. Like you had a whole wedding and got married, didn't tell her. Of course she's upset. So yeah, I didn't like that either. Like that was crazy to me. But now we start talking about Drew, of course. Oh no. Porsha brings up her Pampered by Porsha event. Everybody's invited. And now they bring up Drew. So Angela's like, was there a conversation? Is there a conversation that can be had between you? Porsha says that the opportunity fell in her lap. She went to dinner with Shamea and Ralph the other night. She brings up a text of Drew trying to sleep with Dennis, which is a lie. And then Angela's like, girl, don't tell me that. And then Angela even says, I can't wait to hear Drew's side of the story because I don't believe this. So now Porsha brings up the joke that Drew made about she couldn't, she'll make money to send Pilar to college. And Angela said, no, Angela says, well, that's not how it was said. Like, that's not what she said. So Porsha says, oh, really? Well, that's not how Shamea related to me. And it's clear that Shamea put some extra sauce on what was actually said. So Angela brings up how she knows how Porsha and Shamea are super close. And she says, when I was together with Shamea the other day, she told me that she felt like there was a time where you did not want her in this group. So Porsha is surprised to hear this. She denies it and she says, wait, I've always vouched for her. Then she says, she always wanted her on the show. She had a list of housewives who would be a great on the cast. And she even told Shamea that she wanted her on the show. So she says her only issue was, she said, Shamea, your husband does not want to film. So, that could be an issue. So Angela says, well, it's still lingering with Shamea, and she feels like it's a very lopsided friendship. And I told her to have this conversation with you, but she said she's afraid. So then she says that Shamea does not want to be her lapdog anymore. And now we have Porsha holding a fan up to her face and she starts crying. Now, I'm not going to hold you. I didn't buy it. I felt like Porsha was probably fake crying behind that fan. I wasn't buying it. I said, Porsha, please stop. I can't. I can't. I think that Angela putting that wedge in between an already crumbling friendship, that's a master class, if you ask me. I mean, that's how you do it. Angela is giving us old school Sheree Whitfield bone collecting vibes. That was perfectly done. Perfectly done. She said, okay, Shamea, you don't want to apologize to me and you want to say you want to F my husband. Well, I'm going to destroy your friendship just like that. And there she is. Porsha was laughing behind that fan. Oh, yes, I agree. Wait, guys, hold on for 1 second. Hold on. Okay, thank you for your patience. Sorry. I had like a whole coughing fit. I didn't want to be seen coughing like a crazy person on the screen. I didn't want you guys to hear it. So, but we're back. We're back. We're powering through. I appreciate y'all for really standing beside me today. I love y'all down, okay? But we're back. We are back. All right. Child. Girl. I really was outside, okay? No, but in all seriousness, Porsha gets up to go. And I was really irritated with the immaturity because for Porsha to throw this fit, like she's a victim now, I said, okay, Porsha. And also, Porsha, let's be honest, you did not vouch for Shamea to be on the show because we all know that Kandi was the one who vouched for Shamea to be on the show. Kandi has even said it. Shamea has even said that that Kandi was the one who got her on the show. So don't lie. Do not rewrite history and act like you were vouching for Shamea. No, you weren't. You did not want Shamea on the show full time. You didn't. It's a lie. I'm really sick and tired of the lies. It's constant lies. It really is. But, we see Porsha leave, and Porsha says that Shamea and I have spent more one-on-one time than Shamea has spent with any of these girls, and that if Shamea had an issue, she thought that they could band together and just work it out. Porsha, the thing about being friends with folks like you don't allow people to express themselves when you've hurt their feelings and they feel away. You are the type who's going to gaslight and then ignore them and not speak to them again because they called you out in love about what hurt their feelings. You don't give people that space. I think that we all know people like Porsha. Being friends with Porsha or people with the same personalities like Porsha, it's like trying to walk on a tightrope because it's always about them. It's always about their feelings. And you know what's really crazy to me? Have you ever noticed that folks with that personality type, they're quick to call you out if they feel like you've hurt their feelings. But the minute you say, hey, you actually hurt my feelings, they can't take it. Now, all of a sudden, they're the victim. Be objective. Who wouldn't be upset at hearing from a mutual friend that your bestie just lied on you in a way that is designed to make you look bad? The tears were real. That's backstabbing. But okay, so like I just said, Porsha does not give folks the space or the safety to tell them, hey, you hurt my feelings. Also, we cannot forget how Porsha lied on her best friend seasons ago. A very horrible lie that could have broken up her engagement to her now husband. Let's not forget that. I understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but we can't act like we haven't dealt with people who they can tell you how they feel about you, but you can't tell them how you feel about when they hurt your feelings, right? And in those situations, those have been times where you will talk to a mutual friend because you don't know what to do, right? Like, let's not act like we've never been in a situation where we've talked to another friend because we did not know how to talk to the friend who actually hurt us because they act so immature. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. I just feel like Shamea does not feel safe. She feels like her friendship will be over if she tells Porsha, hey, you hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with that, it's either I cut you off for my sanity, or I just have to bury how I feel and take your abuse, even though I'm hurting deep down inside, and pretend like everything is okay. And that's what Shamea has done, in my opinion. So now we see Drew. We see Drew at. Did I skip a scene? Did I? Okay, no, yes, I did. I'm sorry about that. So we see Drew on FaceTime having a session with her her life coach, Dr. Ken. We all remember Dr. Ken. He's all over the reality TV streets, okay, giving folks advice and therapy. So she's telling him about what's going on in her life. She says that she's not feeling the best. She feels overwhelmed, feels like a pile on right now, and there's a lot of drama in her social circle. So she says that she found out recently that Ralph went out with Shamea and Porsha. So we see that Angela told her the other day that Porsha and Shamea met up with him. And now we find out that Drew found out that Dennis is saying that she wanted to sleep with him for services. So we see Dr. Ken giving her advice. He says that she can't control what others say. And then he goes on to ask her, how does she feel? So Drew says that it feels unfair. She says, I don't know how much more I can take, to be honest. Why would Dennis make this up? But Dr. Ken says, try working with your friends, and that he's proud of her. The session is over. Now, like I said earlier on in this live, I feel like the women really do use Drew as a punching bag, because you can't tell me that anything that Drew has done throughout her time on this show has warranted all this hate. I'm sorry. I think that the girls feel like she's an easy target because nothing Drew has done has warranted all this. You know, she's being lied on. I'm like, Drew does not deserve this. I'm not saying you have to be a fan, but Drew does not deserve all this hate. I'm just saying. Carry on with this hate fest. Too many one-sided views. All right, well, if you feel that way, then feel free to leave. Bye. Thank you. You're out of here. Folks are weird. They want to hear your opinion, but then they get mad when your opinion does not align with what they want to hear. If you don't like what I'm saying, then leave. But you're not going to bully me to say what you want me to say. You're not going to bully me to say what you want to hear. Okay? Like, I'm not doing this with you. You wanted the attention, so here you go. All right? I'm not playing. All right? Like, come on. No, it was just like, I'm just saying, I don't like, just don't come on my chat being rude to me. You know, don't come back on my chat being rude to me. Okay? Please. And like, you know what gets me so annoyed? When people say that, like, I'm being hateful or whatever. Are you kidding me? I'm the most like objective person, I feel. Also, I've never called any of these women out of their names. I never talked about their children. I've always been very graceful with all the housewives, even if I don't care for a housewife. I have never called any of these women out of their names. You have people calling these women bees and this and that. I've never done that. I am always respectful of every single housewife. I've never called anybody out their name. So how dare you say that it's a hate fest? Absolutely not. Come on. A mess. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to. I'm not even gonna pay that any attention. It's ridiculous. So anyhow, we're gonna skip past Brit and her husband. Don't care. And now we get to the last scene of the night. It is the day of Porsha's Pampered by Porsha's party, right? Now I will say, the party looked like a good time. They're all dressed in sexy lingerie, right? And thank you guys. I really appreciate you all. I really appreciate the love. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Y'all are so sweet. Babe, this isn't CNN. You're giving your opinion, which will be biased to a certain extent. No, I'm not taking the comments seriously. No, I get it, but my thing is just don't be rude to me on my channel. You know, that's all I ask. Be respectful to me. That's all I ask. I'm not going to take disrespect. I always say that I will not take disrespect. If I see disrespect to me or any of you guys on the chat, then you're out. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it respectful, keep it fun, keep it kind. That's it. I'm screaming. Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. Yeah, we can agree to disagree, but just don't be rude, okay? That's all I ask. That's it. That's it. So we see everybody showing up for the Pampered by Porsha event. And we see the night. There's a nice spread. She has like sexy bartenders. Can we talk about that one bartender who was flirting real deep? He was flirting real heavy with Kelli, okay? He was trying to walk out with a housewife that night, all right? But they had she had buttermilk chicken sliders and lobster rolls. Like, she did a nice job. So anyhow, we see everybody in their lingerie. And at one point, it was so funny because the bartender was like, "Oh, do you guys want to double fist the drinks?" So I don't know if Brit thought that he was saying something else and she took it the wrong way. And he was like, "No, it means just like, you have 2 drinks in your hand." And so Kelli was like, "Oh, do you want to take 2 at one time?" And he was like, "I mean, I can if you want to." I said, "Listen, honey, that bartender was ready to go, okay?" But I could not stop laughing. I was like, "Brit, what did you think that he meant when he said double fist?" I know what she thought he meant, but girl, get your mind out of Brazzers and focus. Like, that's not what he was saying. So anyhow, Porsha welcomes them to her event. She says that she appreciates them all for coming. And she says today is all about relaxing and being fabulous. So they have massages on deck. And they have their pictures taken by the #1 photographer in Atlanta. And Drew is me. She was just like, "Now hold on. Is this for her line? Like, we're taking these pictures to promote her line because I did not get a contract for Pampered by Porsha. So it's just free promo for her." Now, if I were petty, I wouldn't have come if I were Drew, because it's like, you've been lying on me, saying that I'm sleeping with your baby's father, and then you terminated our contract for Go Naked Hair but yet you want me to give you free press and promotion for your lingerie line and your sheets line? No, ma'am. Okay. Yes, I would have asked to have my face blurred out. Exactly. Okay. So they take a group picture. I will say, everybody looks phenomenal. Excuse me. Everybody looks phenomenal. They all look very sexy. Angela looked amazing in her lingerie. Like they all ate. They all did that. That group picture, I said, Porsha, girl, as slimy as you are, that photo shoot that you had with everybody, y'all looked amazing, okay? So we see Porsha and Shamea take a picture together. And Porsha says that she's shocked to hear her best friend was talking about her, but she's going to set that to the side. So now we see Kelli and Shamea off. They're eating and they're talking. And Kelli says, I wanted to talk to you about yesterday. I went over to Angela's house and I was a bit disturbed about what Drew said about you. She called you a lap dog. So Shamea's annoyed. And Kelli says, I get how it came about because Porsha and Angela did have a conversation. And Angela told Porsha, and Angela said that Porsha was in tears about you. And she feels like you run and tell certain sides of stories and that you're up Porsha's behind. So Shamea says that she loves Porsha, considers her one of her sisters, and she cannot believe that she would allow a conversation like that to be had and not mention it to her, and says that it hurts. So now we see they're having a yoga meditation session, and Porsha's sister Lauren is hosting it, right? So Lauren instructs them all to lay down and breathe deeply. Excuse me, sorry guys. And Shamea is like, I can't seem to lay down, right? Because she's still upset about this whole stuff with her and Porsha. So, excuse me for one. All right, we're back. The things I do for y'all, okay? But Shamea can't lay down. She's still annoyed about her and Porsha. So Lauren says, I want you all to lay down and think about a time where you experienced offense. And I want you to see the offender and let out an audible sigh. Yes, talking can dry you out. Yes, no, it really can. It really can. Y'all are seeing me like in real time, right? You said Porsha trying to take me out. Baby, listen, she said she's trying to snatch my voice away from me, honey. Trying to snatch it away. Let me just take another sip. All right. We're almost done, y'all. We're almost done. I appreciate y'all. Okay, you know what? All right, y'all need to stop. Hi, Tammy A. Thank you for the super chat. I hope the wind is making you a hot honey tea for after the live. I'm screaming. Thank you. Y'all are so funny in this. Y'all are in rare form today. Thank you. No, it's not. Oh my gosh, you think I'm drinking alcohol? No, this is water. This is water with the lime in it. Oh no. No, it's water. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine I was up there drinking some what do you think I'm drinking? Vodka with the lime? No, it's water with the lime. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, no, this is water. Okay. No, it's water, y'all. Water. You make the water look so sexy, honey. Oh, well, thank you. Plug on the glass. Oh, I got these from Amazon, I want to say. They're really cute. Amazon. These cute wine glasses. Oh. No, and not drunk at all. I'm just have a very hoarse voice. All right. Okay. Yeah, I would have been sloppy if I were drunk. No, I would have been sloppy if this were vodka. Oh no. And no, I'm a very, yeah, no, I get drunk quickly. So that would have been a mess if I were on here drunk, saying, oh my gosh, telling all my business. Oh no, no, this is water. This is water. All right. Anyhow, um, so Shamea, they all let out a sigh. Shamea is visibly bothered. She lets out a really big sigh. And now Kelli runs over to Shamea to check on her. And she's like, I feel like you're not at peace. Um, Kelli running over to Shamea in this scene, it felt very performative. I feel like Kelli, you just wanted a moment because why are you over there? Like, it felt very fake, in my opinion, right? So so they're talking in the middle of their meditation session, and Porsha is telling them to be quiet. She's like, shh, be quiet, right? So Lauren says, we're going to open up our sister circle now. Who wants to start first? So Angela addresses Porsha. She says, I appreciate your apology. I hope we can move on. Porsha says, I received that. So now Kelli jumps in and says that she admires both Porsha and Shamea, but she wants them to have a conversation about how they feel about each other. So Kelli goes on to say that she feels like Shamea is not able to really shine and say who she is or how she feels because you don't allow her to be her best self. Porsha says that she receives it. And now Shamea says, well, I don't know who said that. So I'm like, Shamea, it's clearly very obvious that you are deathly afraid of your friend because the fact that you're saying, well, I don't know who said that, you literally have been saying to everybody that you feel like you can't talk to Porsha about anything. All right. Like it's clear. It is clear. It's like, it's okay. Just admit it. It's all out in the open. Just say it. So Porsha says that her and Angela spoke yesterday about Shamea, and pretty much that Shamea is the best friend and how she's the bad friend. So Porsha says that it makes me feel like I'm a piece of you know what. So Shamea says it saddens me, and now Porsha says, oh, Shamea says it saddens me, and that she's never been the one to talk about friends behind their backs. So Shamea starts getting emotional, and Porsha now jumps in and says, you brought up how I didn't come to your wedding. So, and then she brings up how Shamea said that she didn't want her on the show. So Shamea jumps in and she says, so now Shamea jumps in, right? And they go back and forth. Now, my thing is this. Shamea, this was your opportunity to just say, Porsha, I still feel a way about this, and this, right? I was waiting for Shamea to lay it all out on the line. And I felt like Shamea low-key punked out because she was nervous about what Porsha was going to say, in my opinion. When Shamea says, anything I've said to you, I've said, and we've had a conversation privately. And she goes on to say that when a conversation about Porsha is had, I shut it down. Have I not? Shamea says, but I feel like it's not reciprocated on my end. And Shamea is correct. When it's Shamea on the front lines, Porsha says nothing. Porsha sat there and allowed Phaedra to make that lie up about how Shamea's out there effing everybody. Remember that? Remember that whole entire thing? Porsha let her new friend Phaedra lie on her best friend of 20 plus years. That's ridiculous. Oh, you said Shamea should have put it all on the table. She was angrier at Angela. Oh, no, she was angrier at Angela for sure. Yes, she was angrier at Angela because she felt like, Angela, why would you go back and tell Porsha what I said? But at the end of the day, it's already out there, so you might as well get it all out of your get it all off your chest. Shamea doesn't want to be an enemy of Porsha. She don't want her to steal her husband. I can see that. For Shamea to say Angela's afraid of Porsha is comical. Oh, I agree. Angela's not afraid of anybody. I agree with that. I agree with that. That's very delusional thinking. So, Porsha gaslights Shamea and she says, how is it not reciprocated? So Porsha says, when it comes to what Angela said, what would make you question the friendship or attack it? So Angela says, Shamea, I think you're afraid. Things have been bothering you. I did not know that Porsha did not come to your wedding. So now Porsha jumps in and starts lying. She says, for the record, I did not come to Shamea's wedding in Kenya because a month or two prior, we were not speaking, but I apologize. So Shamea says, you did not tell me that. Now, Porsha, that was season 8 when Shamea was getting married in Kenya. You came up with 11 excuses of why you could not attend. For you to sit up there now and lie and say, well, we weren't speaking, that's why, that's not true. We have the clip circulating right now. You literally said, I can't sit in the seats on the plane because I have blood clots in my leg. I can't go to the wedding because of that. You had all these dumb excuses. You did not want to go and celebrate your friend. For you to lie and rewrite history now is unacceptable. It's ridiculous. So Shamea says, you did not tell me that. So Porsha says, well, I told you I couldn't sit in the seats. It just wasn't meant to be. But I was in your traditional wedding here in Atlanta. So Shamea's over it. She says, you know what, girl, whatever. So now Angela goes on to ask Shamea, how does she feel? And Shamea starts crying. So Shamea goes on to say, how have you gotten so close to talk about her friendship with someone that you were once at odds with? So now Cynthia says, I really hate when this circle breaks up friendships, right? And then Cynthia says that these girls have been friends since childhood. So now Shamea says, I don't expect to have resolve right now, but I've always given grace. So once again, when Porsha is mad that you call her out about stuff, she gets very passive aggressive. She says, well, thank you for your grace. So Shamea says that was really sarcastic. And now we end the episode with Porsha saying, well, I'm a piece of you know what. Here's my thing. Here's my opinion. I'ma just say, no, Brooke, I think Porsha told the truth now. She had an issue with Shamea, but was being passive aggressive back then. Well, on the after show, Shamea did say that every time she asked Porsha what was the reason about why she didn't come to her wedding, Shamea even said she had several different excuses of why she didn't come. First, it was, I can't fly on the plane. Now it was this, it was that. So she's still confused as to what the real issue was. I personally believe that Porsha did not want to celebrate her friend. I think that there are some people where when there's a shift in the dynamic, like let's say if one friend has always been here and another friend has always been here, when that friend comes up and matches the level or surpasses that friend, that's when all hell breaks loose. You guys have heard me talk about this in my own life, personal experiences dealing with this right now. A lot of your friends cannot handle it when you level up and do well in life. Hear me when I tell you, if you get a new car, a new job, more money in the bank, a good relationship, get engaged, married, whatever, a lot of your friends, they put you in a certain box where you were never supposed to quote unquote do better than them or surpass them, they cannot celebrate you. And that's why they say it's lonely at the top, because the better you do in life, the better you look in life, you don't really have friends. Friends fall off. I'm gonna just be so real. You have more friends in life when you're not doing well. Think back to your own life. If there was ever a time you weren't doing well, I'm sure your phone was ringing off the hook. You always have friends. When you start leveling up, looks wise, money wise, whatever, career wise, I'm telling you what I know. Folks cannot celebrate y'all. I told you guys a few years ago, when I moved into my new place, I had 3 separate housewarmings. The housewarming for friends, nobody showed up. But when I was living with my parents, folks loved me. When I was working a job I hated, folks loved me. But now I'm thriving and I'm doing content, like the jealousy jumped out. I'm telling y'all what I know. When people feel like they're ahead of you or they're better than you, the friendship only works if they feel like they have the upper hand. If you should ever meet them where they are or you surpass them, then the friendship is over. And I honestly feel like that's the real reason why Shamea and Porsha are no longer close, because Shamea has caught up to Porsha and she's passed her. That's all I'm saying. That's the root of all of this. And y'all can dance around it. Y'all can say whatever you want to say, but what they're talking about right now is fluff. The real issue is, the core is, there is jealousy that Shamea is now a full-time cast member on this show, doing really well. Like, that's the issue. That's the real issue. And everybody's dancing around it, but I'm here to tell the truth. All right? If you were the friend who was always looked at as the plain Jane or whatever, if you come up looks wise, then all of a sudden folks don't want to hang out with you because now you get all the attention. I'm just telling you what I know. When the dynamics change in friendships, when you find out who your friends are, when you start doing well in life. Not when you start doing bad. It's when you start doing well. That's when you find out who your friends are. Because a lot of these friendships are only contingent on you doing worse than them. The minute you get your life in order, then you realize, it never was a friendship. That's it. That's it. Shamea, despite all that, Shamea, I will say, I really wish that you could have found the courage to tell Porsha how you felt, because when you let things build up, that's when like a friendship is pretty much over. You have to nip stuff in the butt immediately. I think I said that expression wrong, but I just feel like I wish Shamea would have just went directly to Porsha immediately, and I really wish that Shamea had not let all this fester. Because that's the issue. I think that Porsha is just not a safe space. You can never tell her when she's hurt your feelings. That's the real root of it. It's jealousy. It's Porsha not making Shamea feel safe to express her feelings. And it's also Shamea dimming her light and not expressing how she feels. And that's why they're in the boat that they're in today, in my opinion. If someone spreads a rumor about me, doesn't come to my wedding, hates on my song, why would I think they're my friend again? I agree with that. I agree. Shamea can save the tears for me. The relationship has been like this. She contributed to the dynamic. She needs to speak the hell up. I agree with you. I agree. Shamea constantly brushed things under the rug instead of actually resolving it, which isn't healthy. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't let that stuff fester. You gotta talk about it, confront it as it comes on, confront it head on. Confront it head on. Right. All so-called friendships end when you come up above them. Yes. You really find out who your friends are when you start doing well in life. because 9 times out of 10, you have the most friends when you're doing poorly. It's not until you start really thriving, that's when you see if you have friends. Porsha's mom's comments about Shamea is also a problem. Yes, I agree. And if you can't confront it, cut it. I agree. Porsha wished Shamea a happy birthday, and Shamea was happy about it yesterday. That's what I'm saying. I think that Shamea still wants the friendship. So all that stuff she was talking in the clubhouse to Andy, I don't buy it. Why is it all on Shamea to speak up? Porsha needs to do her part. Yes, Porsha does, but you know that Porsha's not going to, right? So because of that, you got to do your part and speak up for yourself, because people will run you to the ground if you allow them. All right? So you always advocate for yourself. Listen, what's that phrase? You never play fair in an unfair world. You cannot expect people to do the right thing. So do the right thing for yourself, and you speak up, because you can't depend on people to do right by you. So because of that, you speak up for yourself and say, you know what? I didn't like when you said X, Y, and Z to me. I don't like when you do this to me. You got to nip that in the bud real quick. You know what I'm saying? All right. I know I missed a lot of super chats. I do want to shout y'all out. Hi, Tammy A. Thank you for the super chat. Porsha is fighting not well to keep her peach. I agree. Hey, Kadea too. Torre, thank you for the super chat. Drew needs to film with Simon, LOL. Yes. Oh my gosh. Who said it? Someone on Twitter said Drew needs to go to the ICE detention center and film with Simon. I said, y'all are too much. Hi, Aviva Lauren. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. Hey, Connor McGregor. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Connor. Thank you for the super chat. Who we dragging for the doll? Oh, don't worry. I kicked them out of the live like an hour ago. They tried it. But I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, I read that one. Thank you. Hi, Anna Julia Ka. Thank you for the super chat. Happy belated birthday. I have to give you your flowers. When Halle Bailey's story broke, I thought about you. Don't date down ladies. Yes. And I'm sending so much love to her, because that is horrible what she's going through. All right. I think I got all the super chats. No, that was a word I received that, yeah, you better advocate for yourself. You cannot expect folks to do it for you. If somebody's not treating you right, you better stick up for yourself. Don't let anybody sit up there and talk down on you or make you feel like you're crazy or gaslight you, okay? You better stick up for yourself. Porsha lacks emotional intelligence. She'll never see her wrong in this friendship. Agreed. And that's why it's okay to go your separate ways. Every friendship is not forever. Yes, if you accept crumbs, you'll get the bare minimum always. I think while Shamea was taught to be a loyal friend, in the same instance has learned to be disloyal to herself and doesn't know how to honor her true feelings. Well, yes, she said that a few episodes ago. She said that she's a people pleaser and she puts other people before herself. And I was like, Shamea, that's a problem. Low key, being a people pleaser is low key low self-esteem. Because when you love yourself, you're going to put yourself first. You don't sit up there and you don't obviously be considerate of other people, right? Be considerate. Nobody's saying to be, rude or nasty, but never put somebody's feelings before yourself. And you don't dishonor yourself to make somebody else feel good. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that later, but that's very much low self-esteem when it comes to being a people pleaser, in my opinion. But y'all, excuse me, sorry about that. Let me honor myself, right? Because this double recap is 3 hours and some change. I need to make some tea, take some more medicine. So I'm going to end this live right here. But I miss y'all. and I'm happy to be back. And thank you all for being in the live. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Okay, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me read this last super chat. Hey M Philosophy, thank you for the super chat. Shamea is disappointing. I still have a soft spot for her. Excuse me, sorry about that. As Shamea, as I think she's afraid of being great, hence hanging out with Peach Juice. Yeah, I think that there's something to that. I think she is afraid of her own light, you know? But I need Shamea to wake up. I need her to realize that she is in a one-sided, lopsided friendship that does not serve her, okay? But I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank you guys. This was a really fun chat. Yeah, I had a good time. Thank y'all for just bearing with me, right? Like, I really appreciate y'all. Like, y'all really rocked out with me for 3 hours with my throat going out at like the last 40 minutes. Like, I really appreciate that. I don't take that for granted, okay? Like, that's love. So thank you. But I will see you all hopefully tomorrow, because I do want to go live and talk about Sutton and Garcelle and some other stuff. So hopefully I'll feel better and we won't have to deal with all this congestion right here. But I love y'all. Thank you guys, and I'll see you all later. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you all for the love.